And we are back for another fight night. Tonight we have kind of a special setup because generally when we do fight nights, there's a lot of emphasis put on main character. However, in this particular one, we are eschewing that and we are instead focused on the supporting character of Bishop. So we have two people here who are representing two different bishops. Each has a claim saying that theirs is the superior. So we're going to start with Marcellus. What gives you faith in the 3-drop bishop?
3-drop bishop allows you to ramp. So once you hit turn 3, you get bishop, you ramp,
garbage,
and you'll be able to go to a turn 5 and bring out sheet things, some strong 5 drops, go to 6.
Bishop is whack.
And of course, if you have enough blues, you can always just on 6 ramp twice, get to turn 8, play Namor. So I think Bishop's pretty awesome.
All right, and swinging over to the other side of this matchup, Oshuan, welcome to the Fight Night, Fight Island, first appearance for you. What gives you faith in your 2-drop Bishop?
Well, first off, I want to know how much Marcellus paid you to pronounce my name wrong.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, it's Oshuan, but you can call me Osh. And don't worry, it's understandable. Marcellus has paid off a couple of people just to make sure that I don't make top. So I get it.
Terrible. Well, I apologize, man.
It's all good. I just think that, if the 2-drop bishop stays on the field longer than anything, and he can just grow. I've gotten him up to 24 before. So, it's something that's very doable, and then he just punches people in the face as soon as he's big. It doesn't matter who you have on the field,
Great. So we wanted to make sure that these bishops actually showed up and came out to play. We've all played games where the supporting character that we built our deck around just doesn't show up, and that happening to one or both of these decks in this particular fight would have kind of spoiled the fun. So the rule that we came up with to avoid that from happening is the 4 bishops are actually pulled out of the deck. They still count as taking up 4 slots in the deck, but they are in a side pile. And once a player has enough recruit points to recruit a bishop from that side pile, they can. So it essentially functions as if they are in their hand at any moment. So we're going to see a lot of bishop on bishop action this evening.
All right.
Any final words, gentlemen?
Nope.
I'm ready to
May
rock.
the best bishop win.
All right. Well, here we go. I'm going to mute myself to you guys, and you can go ahead and get started. Roll for initiative, and here we go. Good luck to both of you.
All right. 2d6 for initiative or 1?
Oh, I rolled a d20.
That's fine. I got one of those. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 15.
Oh, I rolled mine off the table.
Oh, okay. No, you go ahead.
Oh, no.
Did your whole table just collapse?
Okay,
Yep,
well,
sure did.
while
Live on
Oshuan-
stream. This is how we're starting.
While Oshuan
Wow.
takes care
Okay.
of fixing the table up, I am going to
Okay.
go over a few other rules that we had for this event. We really wanted to show off characters being able to fight each other. Both the main character selection and the 2 bishops are characters that really want to turn right, scrap back and forth. So this is, in order to ensure that we could accomplish that, we have what we call the band bus here. So these are pretty much all these characters are things that do alternate win conditions. Even if Dutch is maybe not the strongest alternate win condition, the criteria we set for ourselves was anything that says you win the game, we're going to cut out of this format, as well as the make you discard your entire hand on turn 2, turn 3, champions play. So we cut those characters out specifically because we want to force these players to fight back and forth with bishop versus bishop, using their blue powers and actually having to have an interaction with rogue. So welcome to everybody who's tuning in for this. We had a little bit of not a technical difficulty this time, but a physical a table tip over difficulty. So we're getting Oshuan back all set up, and once he is, we are actually going to get into this. So does anybody have any strong predictions for which bishop is going to play better in a rogue mirror match? Let me know in the chat. Yeah, I definitely think throwing the table is a good way to throw your opponent off. Actually, my first ever game of old versus that I played somewhere other than my friend's house, a guy actually flipped the table on me at a comic shop in Florida. It was wild. Oh, see, it's tough to favor either one. So let's break down the difference here. So clearly this battle is about which bishop has the more relevant power. And in early game, there's nobody who wants to use more blue superpowers than Rogue. There's nobody who builds a deck more zeroed in, laser focused on trying to trigger as many blue superpowers as possible. Now, in a typical game of Versus, having the energy transference bishop in your deck is a little bit of a gamble in that you need to actually draw him as well as draw enough activators for your blue superpowers to make him out of control. Well, given the setup that we have here, Oshuan is really in a position where he can guarantee the bishop on board, and surely he's built a rogue deck that's designed to suck all of the blue locations out of the deck and then pour them all into his main character, because that's what you do when you're playing rogue. This means he could have a bishop who, starting on turn 2, on his own turn 2 is going to be a 4/4. On the opponent's turn 2 could end up being a 6/6, and just scales with the game for the rest of the game. On the other hand, you look where Cell is. Now, the issue here is the 3-drop bishop is not going to benefit from blue power usage by other players. So the 2-drop bishop, you're not going out of your way at all dumping your blues into rogue. So there is going to be a little bit of a tug and pull between, do I use this blue on bishop to try to get that ramp out of the way, or do I use this blue on rogue to make sure that you get the level up? So we'll get the ban list out of the way here. It looks like we're ready to go again. All right, guys. Whenever you're ready to go again. Is that what this was? That's what we'll say happened. So the accusation was that Cell sabotaged the table. All right, so there was a 3 rolled by Oshuan there, and Cell is going to go, I believe he chose to go first. Looks like both players are going to throw rogue into the front row to begin with, which, I mean, does make sense. I think I heard keep from both players there. So I'm going to try to tune the player talk up when important moments are happening, and then I'll try to fill the dead space. So this is a new technique we're using for the commentary on this fight night, and hopefully this works out. Well, you can't do much better than a blue on turn 1 in a rogue deck. You could do better than a pass, though. So Cell not coming in super strong on turn 1. Presumably no attacks because he doesn't want to give Osh the ability to... and clearly he was... Hold on, that looks like a... Is that the Fantastic Four? Oh, Solo is a strong turn 1. So now you always want to attack with the Solo. Oh! Oh!
That's rude. I hate you. Hold on. I have nothing to stop that. That sucks. And I
Wow.
will pass.
All right, draw 2.
Yep.
What a blowout card. Okay, so to walk through that sequence of play there, what I was starting to say is you want to always make sure you attack with the solo first because solo can get the counter, and then once he has a counter, then you attack with rogue and you get the experience with rogue. However, because that's what you always do, because that is the quote unquote correct line of play, Cell was prepared for it with concealed firearm. Brutal. Okay, so to catch back up with that play, we've got even more commitment to the ramp plan with Cell playing a Mantis, suiciding it into Rogue, and giving himself 1 ramp there. Using a blue to get some experience onto his Rogue. And then it looks like double power-ups from Cell.
All right.
So I'll level, and I got 2 counters on me.
Explosive
I'll take
turn.
All right. I'm currently 7-8.
Yep.
I mean, if your plan is to go for ramp, you cannot get a much better turn than Mantis on turn 2 and a target that you can crash her into to ensure that she goes into the resource row.
Set of blue. Then I will recruit solo again.
Oh, man, you got to feel a little touchy about that solo.
Let's see. Do I have?
Does he hope that there's not another concealed firearm and try to throw an extra counter on solo here, or do you just commit to giving Rogue XP? I think if I'm in Asha's shoes, I commit to giving Rogue the XP.
Okay. I will declare an attack on Rogue.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's 1. And also 1.
That's a tough call. I mean,
I will
the fact
pay
that
the blue.
he didn't
Okay.
have that he already used one
So
of
that's
those
3,
concealed firearms.
And then I will power up.
Okay.
And then I level.
Wow, strong turn from
Yep.
Ash as
So
well.
my attack went down to 5. Your attack went up to
7.
7.
7
Right.
and then 8, 9. So I'm a 9 attack and 8 defense.
Holy smokes.
Let's see. Because you have the counters now, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and do I want to do this? Let's see.
Concealed firearm. No. Wow,
I'll
what a
take it.
blowout card.
Okay.
All
And I'll
right.
pass to you.
Okay. Draw 2.
So what I was saying there is maybe there's a ballsy line of play where you send solo in first to get the counter on him because, well, if Cell played 1 concealed firearm, the chances of him having another one are a bit lower. But now that you know that he's on it, I do think it's probably right to commit with Rogue first.
Okay.
So Ash's Rogue is a 7-8.
And I'll go ahead and put it in the resource row. I'll play. Go ahead and play my bishop.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we
Main
got a
phase,
bishop
I'll
out into
flip the
play
blue.
here.
Yep.
Let's see here. And
So that's 5 resources
Tell
for
you
Cell
what.
here.
you are 7-8, correct?
That is correct.
All right. I'll swing. I'll suicide.
Okay.
Oh,
All right, it's on
goodness.
you.
All right. Draw 2.
So there is a potential punish that could have happened there where Cell swings in an attempt to face down his own Rogue to deny the ability to give any attacks to his opponent on the next turn. But if he had a blue then, I mean...
Pass to you.
All right, so we have another
Draw
bishop in play.
Mm-hmm.
I'll recover.
It's got to feel bad to have the better board but nowhere to attack.
And let's see what I'll do this turn.
So there's a chance Cell is in one of these situations where you got all your ramp cards, but you didn't draw your fatties. Because if he has some big 6-drop thing that he can slam down on turn 3 here, I feel like... Oh my. Okay, so Kane is going to almost for sure put a blue in his hand. I'd be real surprised if there was any other color of basic in the deck. Man, I think that was all 3 concealed firearms. Oh my goodness, look at that.
Right, exactly. Really glad I got that Kane. Okay.
Basically revealed the entire deck there. So it's
All
not uncommon, and some folks would say it is considered the superior way to build Rogue, where you only run blues in the deck, so your Canes are guaranteed to hit the blues, because Rogue is that dependent on activating her level 1 and level 2 superpower in order to get those level ups. And a Rogue that doesn't level up is a Rogue that maybe doesn't win. So there are certainly arguments to build the deck in other ways, particularly if you're trying to make use of things like Mike Makes Right or heal med kits, or it's just, so there are other angles for Rogue, and there's certainly people who have found success with them. But I think the general consensus is if you want Kane and Rogue, that's an essential card, and you want only blues. So it sounds like Kane is going into Oshuan's Rogue.
I'll play the blue from my hand for Bishop's ability.
All right.
And swing Rogue into Rogue for the suicide.
I'll use Rogue's ability to give you -2 and gain 2 XP.
All right, so here's the punish for the
+2 to Bishop.
Attempt to tuck and pass.
Right, and then I pass.
All right.
So by using his blues, by Cell using his blues to ramp, he does have an impressive array of resource points there, and he could start playing some very threatening cards where Ush is only on 4. That being said, by making the attack, hey, I want to have my stuff face down and deny you a turn, Ash was shown the blue, he used the blue, got experience, and put counters on his bishop. Another Kane on the opposite side. Rogue has been played to the point where it really does kind of feel like the character's fairly well figured out. I'm always hesitant to say that there is nothing left to discover with a particular character. There's so many cards in Versus, and we're a fairly small community, but Rogue has gotten a lot of reps over the years.
I'll leave Kane in the front, and then I'll pass to you.
Okay.
Oh, I unmuted to catch the combat phase there and see what Osh was doing. Unfortunately,
to cover,
he has nobody to attack.
Play a Prison 42. Play a Namor.
Yep.
So an 8-drop
and
on turn 5, I think, is where Cell is at. Here. Turn 5, yeah. That's crazy. So if I've got that Namor, what do I want to do? Given the resources that are showing,
have Namor swing at Rogue.
Yeah, I think that's. I would do the same thing that Cell decided there: is send Namor into Rogue.
Thinking.
If he's holding another blue that Rogue can use, you probably would have wrote it last turn instead of rowing the Baxter building. So it seems unlikely he's going to have a response here, and he didn't. Gotta love those Cowboy Bebop sleeves.
And I'll have...
So where does Rogue go? Probably solo? Or maybe Bishop. I mean, if this is a Bishop battle...
I have Rogue.
Like, go slap Bishop, right? Yeah! There you go, Sal. Go slap Bishop.
Nope.
I will shock her.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Alright. And in response, let's see.
So shock to the system is going to get Rogue small enough that
I'm good.
I don't think she's even going to be able to clip Bishop there.
My turn?
Yep.
Yep.
2.
I appreciate the moxie, though.
So Namor got his counters, right?
Um, 7
Arguably,
yes.
Solo is probably the target capable of producing more total value to the board. Although in a deck that you know is specifically tuned around making 2-drop Bishop your premier character,
Forge.
Yep.
being worried about him running away with the game is probably a legitimate
I
concern.
will recruit another Kane.
Mm-hmm.
So Kane will KO the previous Kane due to uniqueness. It looks like Osh is also on the all blue basic plan with Rogue. I mean, you've got to feel good with a board this big. Yeah, it's kind of a patchy network of characters, so you're not going to be able to have a big team attack swing, but Namor's already getting smaller. There are a ton of resources on the other side. You got to be thinking yourself, if I'm in Asha's shoes right now, I'm thinking, am I going to see a Herald of Galactus? Am I going to see a Herald of Galactus?
So I will go to main phase.
Because he doesn't have to worry about Dark Phoenix, of course, but there are other fatties that haunt the high end of the curve. Leaving Rogue up front still, it looks like.
Yeah, okay. So I will have Rogue attack Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So +1/+1. I will then use the blue ability.
Yep.
So she levels.
Okay. So the first to level 3 is Osh.
Bishop gets another +2/+2.
All right. So how many counters does Bishop have now? 6? I mean,
Bishop
4?
has 4 counters, so he's 6/6.
All right.
And Rogue is a 9/10.
Well, 2-drop Bishop
Okay.
is
And I
doing
lowered
what he was
your
supposed to
defense
do,
by 2.
right?
Right. Okay. I'll take it.
Okay.
He's a 6/6 on turn 5. I guess that's not super great, but he's growing. And on the other side, 3-drop Bishop was just straight churning into the row.
All right. Draw 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think these next few turns are going to be somewhat pivotal because it's going to come down to, does Cell get the fatties to do something with all of these recruit points?
Here, recover.
Or does Namor shrivel and die on land and Rogue gets pieced up?
Play another Prison 42. And let's see.
Namor's a lot less threatening when he's gasping for air, that's for sure.
I'll play. Let's see. Play Ahab. Go to my hound pile.
Gotta love Ahab. If you're unfamiliar with this card, the mechanic lets you look at 4 different cards that you chose, you put into the hound pile. You have to select them from a narrow band of team affiliations, all the mutants. But you can really use Ahab like a toolbox. So
Cards in hand.
Limited to Brotherhood,
1, 2,
X-Men,
3, 4, 5,
Resistance,
6.
the mutant affiliations.
6 cards in hand.
You can put
All
out
right.
combat tricks, extra RAM, discard effects. There's a lot of different things across a myriad of different axes to chip away at what your opponent's doing, advance your own strategy. Ahab is a fantastic card.
What do I want to do with this?
Really reminiscent of the Discover mechanic in Hearthstone.
How big is Rogue right now?
Rogue is a 9/9 currently.
Wow, so a 9/9 Rogue is
All
pretty intimidating, even when you have an 8-drop Namor on the board. But if he's gasping for air, it just doesn't look as impressive.
Okay, so let's see.
So if I'm in Cell's shoes, what kind of hounds would I want to have? Probably Iceman is a perennial combat denier, particularly when you know the matchup is going to be so combat focused. In this specific situation, though, he doesn't seem great.
All right, I'll go ahead and play Colossus from the Helm pile.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Colossus.
And
Colossus is a 12/12, right?
correct.
All right.
Let's see what we can do
Completely
here. Bishop is not on
blank
the
text
field.
box Colossus.
That is Bishop's pile. Okay. How do we want to do the formation?
I mean, if you just want some stats, that guy, you can't do much better than 12/12 with no drawback, 6 recruit points. That feels pretty decent to pull out of the hand pile.
You said 6
now, we
cards
gotta
in
remember,
hand?
he is
That's
going
correct.
to have the Sentinel affiliation now instead of the X-Men affiliation, so that will open up a team attack
Let's go
with
for
Ahab.
Namor.
So
Swing.
potentially Ahab and
Swing on.
Rogue.
I guess no team attack there because Colossus stayed in the background.
He is 14, right? Well,
Correct.
okay, so he's 12.
Correct.
I am
So
11.
14 Rogue, or 14 Namor going into Rogue with God's
Yeah,
strength,
let's
which
do
will
it. I will
shrink him
power her
down.
up so I can stun him back.
All right.
Brutal.
So what are you, 12/12?
I am 10. Yes, I'm a 12/12 and you're a 12/12.
Correct. All right.
Right.
I mean, you don't feel bad
And,
when Namor takes a wound. Because next turn he's going to come back as a 21/21. I mean, at this point, you just play cleanup. Send Ahab into Kane, probably.
Let's have Rogue fly over and hit Forge. Was Forge defense 5?
Yeah, he's a 2/5.
All right.
Yep, I take that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Ahab into Kane.
I guess you do have to deal with Forge.
Yep.
Inventions are nasty.
And Colossus into Dagger.
Yep.
Okay.
right.
It's on you.
All right, bro. Set the blue. I'm on turn 6.
So you got to start feeling some pressure at this point.
I'll recruit Nova.
Yep.
I'll put her in front.
Like, those characters are
Yep.
big.
Same
only
card
gonna
I
get
was thinking
bigger.
of. When those blues get useless. Get
Yes,
some out
sir.
of combat stun.
Nova's
I'll go
a
ahead
great card
and
for this situation.
go to main phase.
Yep.
I'll flip the Baxter building.
Mhm.
I'll target Ahab with her strike. 6. She gets +3/+3.
So it's almost like
Target
double
Ahab,
value
yep.
out of that blue.
Yeah.
You get, or triple value. You get counters
Okay.
on Frankie. You get counters on Bishop.
And
You get to slap a character off the board out of combat, so there's no responses.
Colossus is a
that feels pretty
17/17.
No. 12/12.
12/12. Okay.
I
I thought he was big. I thought he was Mr. Big, you know?
Dude, 17/17 would be really tough to deal with.
So I'll have Rogue attack Rogue, and she gets her counter. So she's a 11/11, and your Rogue gets -2/-2.
All right. I'll go ahead and play Let's Rock on Rogue just so she can get XP.
Okay.
All right.
Let's Rock is one of those cards that does not see much play outside of Rogue decks. And the reason it sees play in Rogue decks is because you can use it either to give attack or defense, so it's relevant on both halves of her level up, whereas a card like Shock to the System is a much better card generally, but it can only help Rogue get XP at one of her 2 levels on her way to God Strength.
Colossus?
What is
Solo.
Bishop at?
Bishop is at an 8/8 currently.
Okay.
So he's 8/8 total. He has 6 counters.
All right. Solo attacking Colossus.
Mm-hmm.
So this is
And what is
get a counter
what's her
on
face at?
Solo.
Nova
Nova is at 8/8 currently.
as well.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
All right.
So do you think he's got the concealed firearm there and he's really debating whether or not to use it, or that it's just kind of bluffed, like head games? Oh, he does have it! Oh my god! Oh, I wasn't sure. I kind of thought he was playing head games, and no, he lets Solo get the counter and then takes out Bishop. Strong play with both concealed firearms. A card I've talked a lot of trash about. Looks really good tonight.
Do 2, recover. Oh, wow. What am I going to do? Wow.
So there is a powerful array of threats.
How many counters is on Rogue?
Just one.
So she's what, 9/9?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Rogan and 9/9, Frankie with counters. Solo himself is not a huge threat, but to have to commit an attack into a guy who represents such little actual value on the board by himself, it's so frustrating to have to clean him up. But if you don't clean him up, he ends up spreading value across the whole board. So this is not a situation. Cell put all of his resources early into getting to the point where he could throw down big fatties. And he has successfully done that, but it's been one card a turn. So he's not really getting ahead. And there's going to come a point where Osh is going to catch up, and then they're both going to have access to fatties. And then where does your advantage go from the ramp? So these are some pivotal turns where Cell is going to have to take advantage of being ahead and get more resources on the board, because right now Osh has had good turns, turn after turn, where he keeps developing resources, investing value on his side of the board. And even though potentially Cell could have, oh my goodness. Okay, here we go into combat.
I'll put Rogue in the back.
All right.
And
not a good sign when you feel like you have to hide your rogue.
Into Rogue.
Oh yeah, so you lost all this stuff, so
Right.
yeah. So 4.
Colossus and the Nova. She 2 health, or how big is she?
Yeah, she's 2 health.
All right.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. And she thing into
cleans up the
Solo.
board pretty nicely.
All right.
And Namor at the end of the turn gets his counters back.
Yes, sir.
6, 7 counters. All right.
This board looks much better for Cell after that turn.
Bishop comes back. All right. So
he cleaned up the counters off of Bishop. He dealt with a bunch of the problem characters. I mean, it's not a great sign that you have to hide your rogue in the back row, but there's a lot of stuff up front. Namor, even after shrinking, is still a threat. I mean, if he shrinks twice, he's pretty much negligible, but as a 14/14, he's still a pretty significant threat in the air. Looks like a forge and a dagger on Osh's side of the board here. And another cane.
sorry, I was muted there for a second.
Oh, no problem.
Recruit Kane.
Yep.
Oh,
If I'm counting correct, that is the 3rd cane from Osh, which means at most he's got 1.
So we got Dagger and
basic
Forge
left
back
in
out?
deck.
yes. Dagger, Forge, and Kane.
Gotcha. Okay.
Dagger in the front.
Gotta say, it doesn't feel super good to have
I'll go to main phase.
Yep.
so many
I'll
setup.
use the Baxter building again for Nova.
Okay.
What is She Thing's defense?
6,
6. And who else? What's Iceman's defense?
1.
I'll see. You have Namor is a 14/14.
I mean, it's a strong card in the build, but with presenting this board,
Won't be able to get over that. Let's go ahead and strike Iceman.
All right.
that doesn't feel great.
Right.
I mean, there's not great team attacks.
How many
here.
resources you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
Okay.
5. All right. So let's see. 6. I'm sorry. What was she thinks defense?
6.
6. Okay. So I will have Forge and Bishop team attack on She Thing.
Okay. What's the total there?
Force. It is 6.
All right.
It's gonna be crazy if we see a Doctor Doom steal that she thing.
All right. Concealed weapons.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Give me Bishop.
Yep.
So that's 3 concealed firearm.
Let's see. Namor is a 14-14. He is a 12-12. And Namor has flight. All right, I will pass.
It's kind of interesting because
All
both
right.
bishops have
Draw
come
2.
down and they've done what they're supposed to do. The 3-drop bishop has ramped, and the 2-drop bishop grew, but neither had super impactful moments necessarily. Like Marcellus has had these turns with just oodles of recruit points, but hasn't really been able to vomit out or play huge fatties. Clearly, he's getting ahead here.
Iceman will go ahead and shoot at Rogue for 8.
8.
Yep.
I'm gonna power up.
So what is she now?
She's a 9-9.
Oh, okay.
So 9s will protect Rogue from
Okay.
Iceman range
Gotta make
attack.
you work for it.
Yep.
Unless
And
he's got something. Doesn't look like he does.
Bishop go ahead and swing at wait a minute. What is Dagger?
Dagger is 3-3 range. Kane is 3-1.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, give me Kane.
Yeah, I figured.
Okay. Yeah. And Namor, go ahead and swing at Rogue.
Yeah, she's gonna eat that one.
And he's 14. She went up to 9, 10, 11. He went 14, 13, 12. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I don't strike you back.
Right. No, I'm just checking the math. Colossus. Give me
Colossus.
Nova.
Right, because he's huge.
Oh no.
And Chi thing into what's her face?
Well,
yeah, Dagger.
It looks like Cell is
I
starting to
didn't
get
want to leave
comfortable here.
Forge out there, but it is what it is. Before my turn ends, I'll flip this prison 42, put Bishop in the resource row.
Yep. Okay. Oh, Bentley, stop it.
Even more ramp. Wow.
All right. How many resources you got? Like 30?
11.
11 resources. So far, the only
Alright, my
Herald
turn?
we've seen
Yeah.
is on the other side of the board, though.
2. And came madly. Bishop, I'm gonna.
Yeah, don't forget your invention.
So what invention do you want to pull
Yeah, I'll
here?
invent.
Okay.
Take that.
Man, a gadget?
So I will set a resource. So I'm on 8.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll recruit Proteus.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
I knew I forgot something.
It was starting to look pretty dark for Osh there, and that's a big
And
play.
I'll go to main phase,
Holy
Yep.
smokes.
and I will
So he's for sure going to pay a
use
blue.
a blue. I'll use a Utopia to heal.
And
Yep.
Yeah, pull a wound off.
Six.
So if you're unfamiliar with the Omega level mutant Proteus, he attaches to a character kind of like an equipment and gives them +10/+10 and the ability to pay a blue to remove a wound. So putting this on your main character is massive. 18/18 rogue who can now shed wounds. Rogue's going into Namor. I think Namor's just going to eat that.
All right.
Yeah.
And then I will pass.
All right.
Wow.
So me.
Yep.
Draw 2.
Well, and this is what I was kind of talking about. Once Cell doesn't close the game out with his big lead in resources, once 8 drops and fatties start coming down on Asha's side of the board, having all that early game ramp doesn't seem as dominant. It's crazy how swingy this has been, where each player at the conclusion of their turn looks like they're in a much stronger place than where they started their turn.
What we can do.
I mean, if you're in Cell's shoes here, you play another fatty. Like, what's your next big fat character you can play?
Some stuff. Let's see.
He's got the recruit points to play Galactus, but without a Herald, he's not going to be able to play Galactus. We saw pretty much the whole deck, but
what can we do here?
drawing a blank on what the other endgame cards were. Another Ahab to produce additional cards in hand, just so you have something to spend all those resources on. That could be potentially useful. His own Proteus would be insane, but I think that's unlikely to materialize. So I will say, sitting on 12 resources and having to kind of churn through your options, it doesn't seem like there's some kind of slam dunk obvious play here. I mean, even just a basic thing would be pretty decent. So with the God Strength, Rogue will be a 20/20. That's what they're kind of hashing out here, which does kind of make me wonder if there is a potential Thing coming down. A team attack between Thing and She-Thing. It's not good enough. It doesn't get you there. Colossus isn't going to be able to have any good team attacks by virtue of coming into play via the Hound Pile, so he's Sentinel instead of Resistance, so he can't team attack with the Resistance Iceman there. Even that wouldn't, I don't think that would get there, right? Because it'd be 6 and 2. Yeah, that'd only be 18. It wouldn't be big enough. Cell's Rogue hasn't leveled yet, so she's not going to be able to benefit from God Strength. So the God Strength on Asha's side of the board is very one-sided. God Strength, again, is giving Rogue +2/+2 for each character in combat with her, and giving -2/-2 to each other character, to each opposing character in melee combat with her. All right, let's zoom back in here.
The old resource Rogue here. Okay.
Oh, I thought. I guess he probably should have like readied his board and stuff. Still, like no attacks have been declared yet this turn. And with Rogue having flight, even getting to that forge is going to be a little bit of an issue.
Now, let's see.
Wait, is he?
Cover.
Yeah, recover first, man.
All right, I'll put Rogue up front.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on you.
Okay.
No recruits and no attacks. Oh no. Oh, that's dire. Wow. So Asha is gonna get
Put the vault down.
another
9
invention
XP.
here from Forge. Holy smokes!
So I'll recruit Bishop.
Yep.
You got to be feeling good
Recruit
about
Mr.
that.
Sinister.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness!
Oh, I forgot Forge. I'm gonna invent.
Yeah.
Okay, so rolling back to an invent, which is fine.
5, 6, 7. And then gonna put the machine back here.
Oh,
Mhm.
And I'm gonna say all my guys get +2/+2.
oh my
Okay.
goodness!
That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 9.
I've gone on
And
record saying that
I'll
I
just
think the
recruit Timbuba on the back.
+2/+2 mode of the machine is almost
All right,
irrelevant,
so I
but
will
it's
go to main
about to look
phase.
real good
Okay.
right here.
I will use the vault,
Mm-hmm.
and I will choose Bishop, and I will give Bishop Berserker.
Okay.
So that's
Wow. So Bishop is going to get even bigger. I
he gets
really
+2,
like seeing this
+2.
all the eggs in one
And now he
basket
has
move
Berserker. I'll just
on
leave this here
Bishop
as a
from Oshuan
reminder.
here. This is great.
Okay.
And then I will use another blue to heal Rogue.
Yep.
Which will make Bishop even bigger.
So she goes up to 3.
Wow.
He goes to 4. Okay. Then I will go to combat.
Yep.
So thing is 6 defense, correct?
Yes.
I mean, you got to be expecting
And what's her
something
attack?
from Cell here.
8.
No recruits last turn, but he still drew cards. So there's.
She is.
Does that mean he's got plot twists in hand?
That's quite annoying. You probably have one more.
Like this is 2 strong turns in a row from
right?
Osh, but are
I
they?
will have Bishop attack. Yeah, I'll have Bishop attack Rogue, and this goes up to 5. So
What's
he
he at
is a
now?
7. He's 7, 8, 9. He's a 9/9.
A
9/9.
9/9 Bishop
Alright.
with Berserk. That's great.
All right. Yep, she'll take it. She's at 6.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I will have Rogue attack Colossus.
Yep. He's at 1.
And I will have Forge attack Sheathing. He's a. Oh wait, no, he doesn't.
She's 6 defense.
Yeah. I miscalculated. Yeah, I pass. Sorry about that.
Wow.
Draw 2.
Yep.
So that went from Osh being in a very difficult situation after the turn where Cell wipes his whole board to, over the course of 2 turns, developing dominant board position, a juiced up Berserker Bishop, the Proteus on Rogue, and now Cell is on the back foot after dominating multiple turns in the midpoint of this game and ramping massively in the early turns. What a crazy swing.
Let's see here. Cards in hand.
Oh,
plus
man,
the
I don't like
invention,
that.
right?
2 plus the invention.
Cell's already
Right,
reaching for
right,
Rogue.
right.
That
I
makes
know
it
what
seem
that
like he's
invention
going
is,
straight to
but it's not
combat with no
about it.
recruits 2 turns in a row. That's not good.
11. I'll go ahead and play Namor.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Now recruit Bishop for 11.
Okay.
I'll
How many
put
resources
Rogue.
do you have? You have 11?
11.
Okay.
Yeah, on the dot. Yeah. Namor
Okay, you got to feel a lot better
and
if you're on the Team Apex side of this equation. Getting Namor
Rogues
down,
in the back,
21,
Namor,
21 is
She-Hulk,
still
a
super
She-Thing,
relevant.
and Colossus in the front.
Even with the
Okay.
God Strength, that should be big enough to deal with that Proteus
And
Rogue.
because what is Rogue right now?
Rogue is a 20/20 with the machine.
Oh, the machine.
The machine
'Cause
doesn't
it's-
affect her.
It says supporting characters?
Right.
Oh, you're absolutely right. All right, so she's at 18/18.
Oh,
18,
goodness
18.
gracious.
Okay.
That +2/+2. If he
All
did
right.
actually get that from the machine, that would be
All right.
You can tell I haven't
massive.
played for real in a while, right?
Man, I haven't played either. I haven't played in about a month. Otherwise, I would have better been prepared for this. Namor swinging Rogue. Let's see how that goes.
He's 24 or 21.
He's 21.
21s.
So he goes down to
After
19. I
God
go up to
Strength.
20/20.
Oh, no. Yeah,
Hold on.
after God Strength
What,
triggers.
aren't you 18?
Yeah, I'm 18, but then when in melee combat, she gets +2 and you get -2.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
you're right. You're right. Oh, wow. Okay.
So is there a team attack here? Well,
In
he's
melee combat, that's
already
right.
formatted.
That's right.
So even if you could do the team
Okay.
attack with...
Then hold on. Let's see if I can do
Yeah, you can take that
Whoa.
back. If you want to take back the bishop
wow.
too, you can.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if it'll be worth it. I think it's just too little too late.
Yeah, I see in the chat. I think you're
figuring
right, Bert.
Other stuff I'm going to
I
be
think this
trying
one
to
got
pull
away
out of
from
my
Cell.
deck. Because I got 1 wound left, and if I don't play Namor, I won't have a flyer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the Namor play does feel strong. But it's probably not going to be enough.
And because now you have enough resources to play multiple characters, and I can't get to Forge, you have another invention you can get.
Are there any team attacks that could bail
You
him out
probably
here?
got what I think you got.
Iceman and Rogue isn't going to get there.
Down.
They can't team attack with Colossus.
Down. Right. And
we got to play it out to last wound for the stream, no?
Oh no, I am. I'm thinking through because I'm thinking through. Yeah.
Wow, what a swingy game this has been.
Yeah, this weekend was busier than I expected. Yeah.
I hear you, man.
But I mean, it's an exhibition match. I'm not.
Oh yeah, of course. That's why I just came in to have some fun, you know.
Let's see here. Yeah, I'm glad I found those concealed weapons at the last minute. They was in another deck. I didn't even play.
Man, I was hoping you weren't packing those.
That's pretty much all I got.
Yeah.
Because just the late game and the concealed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I knew I was gonna ramp, so it's like, okay, well, certain things I didn't put in here.
It definitely seems like Cell is
so I can focus
he's
on
not
Bishop
getting out of
ramping.
this one.
Yeah, I hear
kind
you.
of talking
So
about
I did the same
past
thing. I
tense
took a
already.
lot of stuff out.
Mm-hmm. And I knew you were gonna have a lot of stuff to do blues, but I couldn't afford to put stand togethers in here.
Oh yeah.
You know, that would have been a waste, because I would have had to be a mono deck, and that wasn't gonna happen against no Bishop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I would have to nullify so many abilities. Bishop. You know. And I knew you were going to do out of combat stuff. I'm going to go ahead and put this Bishop, flip this Prison 42, put Bishop in the resource row. And, yeah, I'll pass to you.
Oof.
All right.
I see what I should have did differently, though. And I told myself this, and I rolled the dice, and I was like, okay, yeah, it didn't work.
Let's see it in game 2, man.
I'll set the Baxter building. I'm at 10 right now. So I'm going to go...
I mean, doesn't matter.
Forge and Sinister, so I draw one. And
yep,
then
invented one.
Invent this one. Alright. So yeah, Nova, that's 6. I got 4 left. I'll just put a dagger out there, just in case.
Yep.
And then...
I mean, this is win more at this point.
I will put the Blackbird on Bishop.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Who all is going to be in Blackbird?
So let's do Bishop, Forge.
Gotta put Bishop in there, right? He's driving.
Can anybody be in the Blackbird? Can only X-Men be in the Blackbird?
That is a good question, sir. I don't even know.
Oh my goodness.
Does it even have to be equipped to X-Men characters, or do you just have to have X-Men out?
I believe it is X-Men stamped, so you only have to have an X-Men out, but I don't know how many characters actually like are riding the Blackbird, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But let's just say that it's Bishop and Forge.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I don't
think I need to jump in there
for me
on any of this.
I'll go to main phase. I'll use the Baxter building for Nova.
Who's in the Blackbird?
Taking out Iceman. Or you taking out Superman?
So who's Frankie?
Yeah, I'll take out Iceman because I don't think I can get to him.
Yeah, it's got to be Iceman.
Okay.
6, 7. And then I'll use the blue on Mr. Finisher. I'm sorry, Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Finisher.
And I'll give him... let's give him...
You can't give him anything.
Huh?
You can't give him anything.
No, I'm giving Bishop.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Bishop is going to get it. He's going to get... let's give him lethal.
So Bishop's lethal and Berserker.
So he gets another 2.
Yep. So he's up to 9/9 plus 9/9 right now. He's 11/11, and he has Berserker and lethal.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. So then I'll go to main phase. I will have Rogue attack Namor. Yeah, because she becomes a
Yep.
And And then
He had counters, but it didn't matter.
yeah.
All
Then I
right,
will
so Rogue will
have-
chop through Namor.
Since we have 2 people in the Blackbird, that means we have flight.
Right. And you
So
both have
then-
range.
Yeah, Bishop is going to attack Rogue, so he's going to be a 12-12.
All right.
With
Poetic
Lethal and
Justice.
Berserker.
Lethal Berserker 12-12
Yeah, that's
Bishop clips
All right.
Rogue.
Game
Yeah.
2, sir.
I stalled it out. I stalled out the level because I really wanted to go ahead and ramp, but I see that can't work. You know what I mean? Because I had those 2 blues, so I could have been at level 3 easily. But I was well, if I'm really trying to show how good this bishop is, then I need those, but he's got to be a secondary.
So let's dissect that game 1 just a little bit. I think the analysis that Cell was doing on his own game there is pretty valid, because at the end of the day, if some of those blues that went into Bishop ended up going into Rogue's level up instead, then that's a little bit of a different game. Rogue being able to attack with Iceman and God Strength certainly gives her a lot more reach than she would have had otherwise. It did end up with that situation where Cell ramped up and kind of just had nothing to do. He had all an embarrassment of riches, but unfortunately couldn't keep up a consistent string of fatties. And really that Proteus play is what kind of put it out of reach, I think. Once the healing started, it was bad news. Cell just said he pulled all 4 concealed firearms in that first turn. Now, going into game 2, concealed firearm is maybe going to have a little bit less utility. Once you're expecting it, then you start playing around it. You're going to be a little bit more careful with your solos. Maybe you sacrifice those turns where you don't put +1/+1 counters on him, so you don't put him at risk of being clipped by a concealed firearm. And now, as the game goes on, your board's just a little bit smaller. Your support pieces are just a little bit weaker than they otherwise would have been. So getting shuffled up here, we got 1 game to Osh. Cell came out with a strong lead, but wasn't able to close it out after some big swings throughout the middle turns of that game. Just as a reminder to anybody tuning in late, we do have some bans in place for this event. We wanted to make sure that this was a game where people smashed into each other and actually did turn right versus things, as opposed to racing for some kind of alt win condition. So kind of loosely what we said is we're banning any card that has the words win the game on it. Even some of them is just a little bit unnecessary, like Dutch I think was maybe not needed. And we also got rid of the Mole Man Black Widow combo discard your entire hand thing. I see predictions that Cell has already been defeated in game 2. Here we go.
Oh, jeez.
You know what? I don't know if I can keep this. No, I'm gonna.
It looks like the bishops got sucked into the deck when there was some shuffling. That kind of makes sense.
Oh, that was a bad mo. I'm sorry.
One, two, three. Where's the other one?
So we gotta assume Cell's gonna want to go first in game 2 as well. I mean, I certainly would. I feel like anytime you're playing Rogue, you always want to go first.
Wait a minute. We have 3 bishops here. Where's the
Oh my goodness. Do you play with a 59 card deck? Is that what just happened here?
You're only playing with 3 bishops?
No, it's a 4th bishop sitting here.
I'm about
Because
to say.
here you go.
Okay.
Yeah, because I recruited all of them.
Yeah, yeah,
so,
you did.
So I knew it was a 4th bishop up in here.
You also gotta forgive a guy for shuffling up his side pile cards when every single one of them ended up going into the resource row face down at the time of collecting the cards at the end of the game.
Number wise, it really shows what a difference 4 cards makes in your deck.
Yeah, for real, man. Like I should not be popping. I should not be hitting the curve. Like the curve is really bad.
Right, right,
It is
right.
kind
I
of
feel you.
cool to see the difference
I
it
still
makes
did
having
miss Sinister on
a
5 though.
side
Sinister on
pile
5 would have
where
got
you
me
can
a
just
couple
rip
extra
cards out
things.
of at any point you want.
But
I had a feeling you were gonna play Sinister because I knew you could use those blues twice. You know
oh
what I
yeah,
mean? Yeah. So multi-health characters with blue. I didn't know how defensive you were gonna go as far as if you were gonna put Pixie in the deck or if you were gonna put Shadowcat in the deck and
Yeah.
cancel combat and get Bishop, bigger. Because I was like, ugh.
I thought about that too, but I was like, you know what? This is Rogue, man.
Right.
Just start punching people in the face and see what happens.
Right.
I like that rogue philosophy.
2, 3, 4,
That's a good call
6,
from Mosh
7.
there.
All right.
And then I also was like, this is an exhibition, so I don't really have to build tournament style, worry about matchups and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is a cool thing about these fight
All right,
nights
so
that I have enjoyed both in terms of deck building, but also watching the events. Is that we see cards come out that would never make it in a Swiss room, and we see deck builds come out that would never make it in a Swiss room. But you can afford to get away with hyper specializing your deck when you have some sense of who your only opponent's going to be, the types of decks that they're likely to play.
I'll flip the Utopia, get 2 XP.
Going for the XP early here from Cell.
And I'll power up.
I don't find this surprising.
And I'll power up and level up.
Anytime you lose a rogue game without hitting level 3, the next time you play rogue, the first thing you want to do is get to that level 3.
What's your official attack right now?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm 9-8 for attack.
I'll play Shock, so she gets an XP.
Yep.
And then I'll play another Shock, so she gets another XP.
Okay.
And you should be at 3 attack now?
3.
Heavy investment of cards there.
All right. I'll power up.
Oh, man.
So I'm at 4 attack.
So it did look like Wash was going to dodge
will
the wound.
power up.
Oh, my goodness. Another one.
Another XP.
All right.
Plus one.
That is XP for me.
So 3 counters, a second level.
Okay.
A lot more cards invested on Cell's side, though.
All
I think that was 3 power-ups, as well as activating a blue, whereas Osh used 2 shocks and a power-up.
All set.
So same number of raw cards, but I gotta feel like throwing 2 shocks out on turn 1. That's an awful lot of potential.
Your defense is high, very high. Okay.
Defensive shielding that you no longer have access to as you go forward in the game.
I will pass.
All right. Draw 2.
Yep.
Not a very strong turn 1 from Osh, but this isn't what his deck is intended to do.
That's interesting.
Of course, you always want to see that solo on turn 1 when you're playing Rogue.
Same issue I had last turn.
But given the matchup, and now knowing the scope of Cell's deck, I don't think you feel super bad about missing a turn 1 recruit.
Wow. Okay, so I will.
You got to feel like Rogue wants to play a face-up. Oh, no!
It's in the resource row.
Terrible. Well, I was going to say, you got to feel like Rogue wants to play a face-up location of some kind here to be able to use the blue power and then recruit a Mantis. Like, that's the play you want.
Mantis.
Okay, well, you got halfway there. The bunch, if you will.
Mantis will swing.
Yep.
In the rogue. Alright, she gets stunned. And Rogue in the rogue.
I mean, there is a small risk.
Yep.
Anytime you send characters into Rogue that there's some kind of manipulation that's going to come down that's going to let her level on the defense, but
So draw 2.
Cell fires off 2 safe attacks here this time. So So neither player seems to be coming out quite as strong as game one. Now, Cell did have kind of a similar first couple turns where it wasn't super eventful.
I guess I have to.
But then got that. If I recall correctly, though, in game one, he did have more locations showing on turns 1 and 2.
I'll recruit Kane.
Yep.
And opted to use them for Bishop rather than
Damn.
for Rogue. So Kane hits another blue. I think every time we see Kane for this entire mirror match, it's going to come up with a blue basic.
Put Kane.
I mean, you got to have some confidence if you're in Oshu's shoes going into this game too.
Okay.
You've definitely seen Cell's deck ramp.
Rogue is you said she's
faster than was even imaginable, and yet you still were able to put together a late game package that was sufficient to
so I'll declare an attack with Rogue.
Yep.
I will power up so she levels.
Yeah.
So we got a level 2 coming out from Osh here.
+1. And then I will use the blue ability to give her +2 defense and you -2 defense, and then gain 2 experience.
So more experience for Rogue there. That's what you'd like to see.
So what's your attack right now?
Sending those.
My attack is a 6. I don't think I'm striking you. Unless, well, what's your attack?
I'm at 7. Well, my attack is 8.
So your attack got.
I got 3 counters.
Yeah, your attack is 8. And then your defense is 7.
The math on some of these.
Yeah, I'm 8-7 right now.
Rogue mirrors.
What are your stats?
Complex.
I am a 6-7. So then I will power up Rogue.
Okay. So that does get Rogue big enough to clip Cell's Rogue.
All right. And what's your attack at right now?
So now I'm at 7 and 8 defense.
And 8 defense. My attack is still
8. Yep.
8. Okay.
We're basically matching opposites right now.
Yeah. And how do you feel?
Oh, because I went down to I'm at 7 defense right now.
Yes.
Oh, I see what you got. I'm
8-7,
and you're 7-8
on either side.
Yes.
Of it. I got it. Okay. I'm a less rock.
Yep.
I'll get
2 defense,
2
right?
defense and XP. Yeah.
I mean, you feel better about that though. Wow. Now instead of getting a straight trade,
I didn't want to waste it if I didn't have to.
It's become a reverse value trade.
I passed for that.
That hurts.
Okay. Draw 2.
That's not where you want to be if you're on Osha's side of the board here.
Let's see what we can do here. Recover.
So you got to assume we want to see a face-up location here if you're Cell. There's not a whole lot of point in recruiting any one of your bishops from your side pile if you don't have a Prison 42 to spend on him. If you play a basic blue, you may not even want to spend that on bishop, because while ramp is important, I think getting Rogue... We ran the experiment in game 1 as to what's more important, ramping or leveling your Rogue, and clearly the answer was he who levels his Rogue is going to be in a better position.
Oof.
So you got to think that he's trying to figure out how he's going to get his Rogue leveled. Oh, no.
Solo.
All right.
Okay. Solo's a good play here.
And Rogue will swing into Kane and gain an XP and a counter. And let's see.
I don't think that's enough to get him leveled.
I will also power. I'll power up.
All right.
That I think will be enough to get him leveled up.
And get another counter.
Yep. So we got God Strength Rogue. Now the God Strength won't trigger this turn, of course. It happens when she enters combat, and that point has already passed by the time you're throwing things like power-ups out of hand. So complete buzzsaw across Oshu's board there. There's maybe an argument that...
Oh, this is the downside.
No, because if you attack with... So I was going to say there's maybe an argument that you should have attacked with Solo first, but if you attack with Solo, that's going to kill the character, and then you can't attack with Rogue. So that's incorrect. So definitely did it appropriately there.
Yeah, I can't do anything.
Uh-oh.
Stop any of that. So...
I I think Osh just said he can't do anything here. That's not where you want to be. You need to have some kind of strong turn 3 play.
I will recruit bishop.
I mean, something as simple as getting like a cane.
And then I will pass.
Oh, no.
All right. Draw 2.
Yep.
So you recruit bishop and pass. Presumably the face-up rogue is going to sit there to defend bishop. Otherwise, you kind of just wood chippered him.
Let's see here.
Maybe there's something in hand, like some more shock to the systems, or perhaps blue locations, so bishop will be bigger. You know, if you have to chop your way through rogue and she's able to activate her superpower, then bishop is that much bigger.
Yep.
Feels like a much more active mid game
Solo.
from Cell here.
Into rogue.
Yep.
All right. Iceman in the rogue.
Yep.
Rogue and the bishop.
Yikes.
Bishop takes it.
Just buzzsawed through that whole board
Alright.
there.
Let's draw 2 and hopefully into something better. 2. Finally got a utopia though, so that works. I'll recruit match.
That's a good card.
And dagger.
Yep.
For anybody unfamiliar in match,
Okay,
instead of striking, puts -1 counters
so
on
if I attack,
whoever he attacks, which means he can
Still
shrink
gets
characters
stunned.
down to make them bite-sized for other characters, or he can team attack with rogue, and it's kind of a backdoor, expensive, sloppy way to put more experience on your rogue.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do it.
14-14.
Sometimes it's worth sacrificing the match just to turn him
without
into
the god
XP on your
strength.
rogue.
Right.
You can kind of think of it
So I
as
will
a similar
have
exchange rate as throwing out
match.
like a call.
attack into rogue.
All right.
So unless
Of all the
Cell
times. Of all the times to not have
Oh, he doesn't have
not
it.
have concealed weapons, dude.
This would have
So
been a
it's like,
blowout to
oh.
have concealed weapon right here.
I mean, he's probably gonna leave next turn anyway.
Strips a ton of counters off rogue. This is gonna Cell is gonna have to
You're at
devote an attack
10,
to
you'll
dealing
go
with
up
that
to
match,
12.
which potentially means that something else gets to stay alive on the board,
Auto stun on my part.
like bishops say.
Yeah, I have to pass.
All right. Draw 2. Recover. Cover. Plays
Yeah,
pretty
I got
42.
pretty shafted this time.
I'll go ahead and recruit bishop.
Yep.
And let's see.
Definitely starting to feel like we're gonna go to a game 3 here, folks.
Iceman in the rogue.
Yep. 5.
Solo and the bishop.
That seems risky.
Yep.
3-4. All right.
I mean, he got away with it, but man.
Bishop and the dagger.
Yep.
And rogue into match.
Wow, cleanup on the whole board. So nothing
Right.
was able to survive that.
Pass to me.
I
right?
have to.
Or...
Nah, I have to. Main
okay.
phase off with the blue. I got to. Because
Okay.
I don't know what I'm gonna pull, so I might need the resource points, so I can't take a chance. Yeah.
So that's
I,
smart turn planning from Cell. Like, if you
Alright.
notice, he wasn't thinking about what do I need to do this turn? What can my opponent potentially do? He was thinking about what am I going to draw? What's going to set me in the position so that I am going to be able to take advantage of, so that whatever comes off the top of my deck is going to be actionable. So he counts up his resource points, realizes he needs to be able to, or needs to utilize the ramp that turn in order to make sure that the maximum number of playable cards could potentially come off the top of the deck. That's smart turn planning.
Go to main. Mr. Sinister will attack into rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Suicide that. Then Rogue will
Uh,
attack into Rogue, and then she's going to use the Utopia so she levels. So 7 wounds, and then she's gonna stun because it still doesn't matter.
oh no.
So she goes to 6.
Gotcha.
So 6.
She
And then I
leveled
pass.
before she stunned.
Right.
Right. No, that's smart. Draw 2.
Yeah, they're
So pretty anemic turn there from Osh, unfortunately.
This ain't the
You got the Sinister
too little,
down,
too late
which
mess.
again is a type of
recover.
future proofing for the next turn. You know, you get that guy down, then potentially you can use his ability on your subsequent turn.
Bishop. I'm at 9 resources.
all right.
Yeah, it's on you.
So Cell didn't have a whole lot to do on his turn that time. Ramped up again, but no recruits other than pulling a bishop from the bishop battle side pile. So 6 recruit points here for Oshuan.
Oof. If you give things some ridiculous bull. Oh my goodness.
It would be pretty crazy to see a thing come
I'm
down,
sick.
put
I'm just trying to
berserk on
survive,
him,
so let's see what
lethal. There's so many
Turn
good things that
6. Her in front.
the Mr. Sinister can
What's her
grant.
stats? 5/5.
She's a 5/5.
Okay.
I mean, do you clip the solo or the Iceman here?
I'm gonna use. And what is
Man, that's tough.
Damn.
Rogue is 11/11.
Of course she is.
You're not getting past Rogue.
13.
You got to protect your own Rogue
All right.
because she's taking so many
I
wounds
will
already.
pass.
Oh
Alright,
no!
Yep.
So not even able to activate Frankie Ray's
Alright.
Nova Blast or
I'll play
whatever it's
blue.
called, where she
It's my
gets +1
10th
counters and then
resource.
strikes a character out of combat.
I will play Ahab. I'll go to
Colossus? Are we going to see Colossus again?
pile here.
He had the 9 recruit points
I'll
last
go
turn,
ahead
so
and get
it
Colossus.
happened. Yeah, Colossus.
Yep.
Embarrassment of riches for Cell's
9.
side of the board.
All right. And let's see. Solo and the Sinister.
Yep.
Ahab and the Sinister.
Yep.
Let's see here.
These are the kind of attacks you can do when you don't have
Colossus
to think about your
into
opponent having a concealed fire.
Nova.
How much is Colossus now?
Wait a minute. Let's calculate this out. 8, 9, 10, 11.
Colossus is going to
Uh,
be 13 with the solo
yeah.
counter. That's more than enough to
Into
clip
Nova.
Frankie.
Colossus 13.
Yep.
Iceman into Sinister.
What's his attack?
Should be at 7? now?
11.
11?
All right.
Holy smokes.
And I'm going to go ahead and swing for 12. Our God strings kind of even us out.
Yeah, so you're 12, 28. Yeah, I don't have it. That's game.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
hoping
so we're
not.
gonna
I
go to
had 2
game 3.
power-ups in case you did.
Wow, so that game looked quite a bit different. Bishops were much less relevant in that game. In game 1, both bishops were doing exactly what they wanted. The bishop on Oshuan's side was gaining counters stacked up on top of him from blue powers activating. The bishop on Marcellus' side was jumping down in the resource row and ramping. And while ultimately that didn't end up playing out very well for Cell, because he got all the ramp in the world, but then didn't have anything to do with it, and Osh was able to come back and eventually turn the corner on the game. Here in game 2, we have a much different game where neither bishop is really doing anything that super relevant. Well, yeah, there was some energy transference. Yeah, there was some time traveling happening. So both bishops were there. They were present, given the nature of the bishop side pidal mechanic that we've set up for this. It's kind of obvious that we're going to see these cards come out, but they weren't as impactful. The ramp didn't matter as much, and the green counter stacks didn't matter as much. Ultimately, I think the story of game 2 was written on turn 1, when both players were trying to wrestle over who got control of that, or who got the better of that first exchange as far as getting the experience and stacking the counters. And then a few turns later, when Osh went in and was looking to put a wound on both of them to trade to clear the counters off Marcel. It would have knocked the counters off himself as well, but it was a fair. It's a, hey man, this is a trade. This is what we got to do to keep the game even. And Cell turned it into a reverse value trade where he stunned the incoming attacker. Those two plays were really the story of this game more than any of the Bishop interactions. So we're going to shuffle up for game 3 here, which is what we like to see on Fight Island. These fight nights, going to 3 games, really gives decks a chance to show different things that they're capable of doing, and we don't end up with these fluke resolutions where game 1 looked a certain way, game 2 looked another way, and now here in game 3, we're going to have another look. We'll see if we see another table flip before the end of the night. Let's tune back in and see what our players are chatting about as they shuffle up for game 3.
Yep. So like I said, I'm realizing that now. Building with him. I'm like, I like this dude, and I think he's going to be great in like a group deck.
Right? Yeah.
And any other deck that says when you gain a resource, because I think does Kingpin say when you play a location, or does he say when you gain a resource?
When you play a location.
Okay, any of those decks that say when you gain a resource or need higher resources, need you to go to the turn 7, turn 8, he would even be good in X23, to be real with you, just because he would help her get to the late game faster.
Yep, I agree with you on that too, because X23 is just sitting there absorbing wounds. He's like, I don't care who's on the field, I'm just going to leave.
Do you want to put blues in X23?
So, and she needs the ability to be able to ramp anyway.
Yep.
So, playing Prison 42, playing Nick Fury and, the Avengers Mansion, and Mantis could get her to the late game really, really quick, because the odds of you pulling 2 of those is pretty high, considering that's 12 cards. It's 1 out of 5 cards is going to help you ramp. So.
Oh, yeah. Ramp is real serious now, because you have ramp you have ramp outside of yellow. And that was big because JJ was like sitting there like, come at me, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go first.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm saying. Right.
So now it's like, now you have a ramp that's on 3, so you can reliably do 2 ramp,
and
then do 3 ramp, and now you're on turn, what is it, 6 after that?
Yep,
you're on turn 6, and then once you get to turn 6, you can either ramp twice, like you said.
Yep.
Or you just sit there and you let shit happen. So.
Because you can at that point, if you have all the ramp in there.
All right. So as they're getting started to go here again, we have to assume that Oshuan's going to choose to go first in game 3. I mean, anytime you're playing with Rogue, I think you want to go first. Getting a blue and a solo down on turn 1 in Rogue is just too juicy of a play to ever choose to go with the draw unless there's if there's a Rogue build that wants to go second, I haven't played it yet. I'll put it that way. So it looks like Osh looked at his cards and didn't throw them back. So I'm going to assume that means he wants to keep that hand.
Yeah, what I was trying to do with this though, I was trying to make Bishop come out late game and then do 3 blues in a row. So it would be Nova, Mr. Sinister, and then Proteus. And then he automatically comes Proteus, out.
But I did think about Sinister, and I thought you were going to do that late game because, like I said, as I was calculating it through, I realized the value of being able to play a 2-drop later versus a 3-drop later.
Yeah.
it's a huge difference, and I didn't math wise. It's a huge difference in calculation.
I hear you, man.
Yeah,
All right, you ready? Because
yeah,
now
it's
my
on you.
girl's like, let's eat. All right.
Yeah, yeah, it's on you.
So I will set, and I will actually recruit a Timbuba. And
Kind of feel good about a Timbuba against a rogue deck on turn 1. Like, oh, that solo you kept in your mulligan? Enjoy.
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Oh yeah,
What
I
happened?
pass it. I pass now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Draw 2. All right. Let's see what we can do here.
I mean, well, there can't be any recruits. At the very least, you want to see a face-up location.
Utopia.
Okay, there we go. We got a Utopia. So we got to assume there's going to be an attack into rogue here on turn 1.
And let's see.
And then is it going to be another one of these massive hand-depleting 6-card committing struggles to see who comes out on top of the exchange again?
All right. Go ahead and swing on rogue.
Okay.
I'll flip the blue.
All right.
Get 2 XP. My attack goes up. Your attack goes down.
I will also flip the blue.
Yep.
All
2
right, 2
XP.
XP for both players
right.
here.
And pretty much canceled out yours.
Yep, it did. I'll go ahead and power up. Get 1 XP.
So
One
that's
more
2
XP.
cards committed on Cell's side.
I will also power up.
2
All
cards
right,
committed
one
on
more XP.
Asha's side.
Oh, okay. Let's see. That's it for me.
All right. We'll draw 2. Set the Utopia.
Oh, jeez.
So
And
a
I'll
little bit
recruit
less
Bishop.
action in that
Yep.
turn 1 exchange this game.
Then I will go to main phase.
Got to feel
Yep.
good getting that bishop
I'll
out
have
alongside that
rogue attack
Utopia
into
if you're
your
on
rogue,
Osha's
and
side
I
of the
will
board
use the
here.
Utopia,
Yep.
and Bishop gets +2/+2.
Oh, I powered up. That's right.
Yeah.
We didn't stun each other. I didn't put the counter on.
Oh,
So
a
now
little bit of
you
sloppy
get
play there.
-2
So I forgot to
attack.
use
I get
+1,
+2
+1.
attack. So
Yep.
I'm at 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm at 8, 7.
Wow, an 8-7 attack coming from Osh on turn
and I
2.
pass
These
that.
rogue decks are
Yep.
crazy.
Oh, because your attack went up and my attack went down.
Right.
Right.
So your
okay.
attack is at 2 right now.
Okay.
Oh my
I
goodness.
will also do the power transfer.
Now you always
and
hate to have to throw
do the same
location
thing
from
you just
hand
did.
instead of being able to play it as a
Alright, so
resource
you're-
first.
So my attack went down to.
But you got to do what you got to do
my
in these
attack is
value
6.
battles.
Right. My attack went
And-
back up. So I'm back up to 6.
Okay.
Right. So my attack right now is I'm 6'7", and you should also be 6'7".
Correct.
Okay.
Then I pass for effects. I'm not sending
Oh.
you, and you're not sending me. I don't think.
Nope.
Wow, another
Actually, I
heavy
will.
commitment to an attack.
Now that we are level 2, I will use
Yep.
the blue from my hand,
Oh,
Hey, I was hoping you didn't have it.
and he goes to 4/4, and she levels.
that's a strong play from Oshuan.
She levels already?
Yes, sir. Because I was at.
Oshuan.
No.
No,
I
no,
just
no.
got
You
to
just
2.
get 2
I just got
XP.
to 2. Yeah.
Right,
I was
right.
like, wait a minute. There we go. So he's +4/+4, and you
Yep.
have -2 defense, and I have +2 defense.
Yep.
So I should be able to stun you now.
This is looking dark for
Because my
Cell.
defense should now be at
5.
5.
And my
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, you got me.
Okay.
Oof. We saw
All
a
that
very
for one
similar
move.
exchange to this in game 2, only it went the other way there.
Go ahead.
All right. Draw 2. All right. So let's see here. See how we're gonna do this. Wow, this is a turn 2 for me. There's a lot
Yeah,
going
right.
on.
All
There's a lot
that
going on.
back and forth.
It is crazy how many cards have come out of
Let's see.
both hands, and we're only a couple turns into the game. It's unbelievable.
Cover. in the resource row.
Ugh,
Go ahead and play Kane.
Yep.
that feels pretty bad if you're on Cell's side of it. He had to throw a location from hand, which means another card that could have been something of value had to be committed to the face down resource. And you got to do that before you can get the Kane into play. Once the Kane's into play, of course, now you're holding another blue. But now, I mean, if he had another location in hand, he would have played it there. He didn't, which means he doesn't have it. So if Cell is going to try to declare some attacks to get some experience going on his side of the board, to try to use his rogue superpower, the way to pay for that is going to come from hand, which puts him even further behind in the overall card advantage battle that's taking place between these two characters.
All right. Play Kane. Okay, let's see what we can get out of this. Swing Rogue.
Yep.
I'll play the blue. Bring
Yep.
the defense down. Bring
Yeah,
the
and it
defense
had
up.
to come from hand.
And response.
No responses.
All right, I'm power up. Third XP, 1 counter.
I mean, he can't have
Alright,
many
response.
cards left in hand.
No response.
Power up. 4th XP, I'll level up. 2nd counter.
Okay.
You got to feel pretty confident getting to
response.
that level 3 this fast.
All right.
All right. So that's done.
And
Although you're putting so many
Kane will swing
resources into it.
Your boy Tim.
Yep.
All right.
Trades.
Yep. It's on you.
Man, having to put 2 attacks into a 1-drop to clear it off the
Oh.
board.
How many
sucks.
counters does Bishop have?
Feels terrible.
Bishop has he's +4/+4, so he's a 6/6 right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
I gotta say, if I'm sitting in Marcellus' shoes right now, I'm not feeling super great. Now, I don't know what he has in his hand, but
Set.
he's committed a ton of additional
Recruit,
resources, throwing
forge.
things from hand.
Yep.
I'll put Timmy in the front.
He doesn't have that much of a board presence here. Like, he is ahead on the level up
Tim is
raise,
2-2.
Yes, that's correct.
All right.
but I don't think that's how he wins this
Uh,
game. It's an important part of how he wins this
10,
game. I
10 right
should
now.
be blasé about being ahead in the level up race. That is
Yeah.
a big deal.
Yep, I will pass.
Okay. Draw 2.
Yep.
Fairly weak turn from Oshuan there.
All right. Cover.
Certainly makes the Marcellus side of the board feel a little
Go
bit
ahead,
more
play Prison
confident.
42.
Oh, his first face-up resource
And
since game 2.
let's see. I'll plug.
I mean, his
recruit
worst
Bishop.
play,
Yep.
or I shouldn't say worst, his most
Bishop will
obvious play
blast
here is
Tim.
play Bishop, attack
blasting.
something, then pay a blue to Bishop to
And
ramp,
I'll go ahead.
which is not a bad play at all.
Swing in the rogue.
So I go down 2, so I am at 4, and you are at 12.
Correct.
Wow.
No, not enough. All right.
When you're doing the math between a level 2 rogue and a level 3 rogue, that
And-
God strength is
I'll
just
flip
so evident.
Prison 42. Put Bishop in the resource row.
Yep.
Yep.
It's on you.
So game 1, Cell ramped like mad, got way ahead on the resources, and then
It
sputtered
started out
towards
looking
the
good,
end.
and then it just got a lot worse.
It definitely feels like he
Oh,
learned a lesson
Forge,
between
I'm
games
going
1
Yeah,
and 2
yeah. Go ahead. Jump in.
about committing resources to getting rogue leveled
get
as
me.
plan
Now,
A
hold on.
and
Just
ramping
to be
as plan
fair,
B.
do you want to pull up your card before you get the invention? Because you put
No.
a face down
Oh,
card. You know what
you're
I'm saying?
right.
You put a card face down. You may not want to put that face down, depending on what invention you get.
Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and put that face down.
Okay. I'm
Good
saying
sportsmanship from
forge
Cell
triggers at the beginning of the turn, so
Right.
you didn't have to do that. Okay.
So just to clarify what was happening there, Osh missed the trigger on Forge to be able to choose an invention or draw a card, and Cell pointed out that if he wanted to, the invention or card that he draws off the top of his deck could have been put into his row. The most relevant case where that would matter is if instead of inventing, you use Stroke of Genius to draw a card and you draw a location, and then you want to play a face down location. So Cell saying, hey, that trigger should have happened in this order was just essentially good sportsmanship for the moment. Oh, so we have an invention, and then it gets recruited, as well as a match. Gotta like seeing match.
Now I'm missing about half of my deck in my hand, but it's okay.
So match is really strong here.
Yes,
in
the
that
face down and cards are encouraged.
he can attach in,
Right?
attack in, put a bunch of -1 counters on
I'm
God's
gonna
Strength
give
Rogue
her
without triggering
Shrink.
God's Strength.
Automation.
Putting Shrink
Oh,
on the
geez.
automaton.
Vern told me this too. Vern was like, "Osh is a tricky player, man. You don't know what he gonna do." And you're right. You're absolutely right. Like I ain't never seen nobody play that card, and now I see the benefit of her because now it's gonna take 2 swings to get rid of her.
That's right.
You know, I'm like, oh, jeez.
And I know you probably have it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So match is going into
Concealed Firearm would look really
going
good right
into your
here.
girl.
Wow.
Trading those 2 green counters for 2 reds.
So she is a 6/6.
Yep.
Are we going to
But
see the
she'll still
concealed?
go up to 8/8. That's ridiculous. I will.
No, match gets away with it. I mean, it's unlikely
don't
match
need her
survives
going
another
back
turn.
up to
Although,
8/8.
given the size of
I'm going to
Osh's
pass.
board, it's
No,
going to take
dude, swing bishop.
Absolutely not.
it's going to take 2 attacks to get through.
I heard that before. That's a nice try.
Right, he suffered my plan.
Okay. It seems pretty clear Cell does have Concealed Firearm in hand, but was hoping to use it for a higher value target than the Match Crackback. Which I'm a little surprised. Match is such a powerful card. I think it's well worth the Concealed Firearm to get that thing off the board. Although, in the Battle of the Bishops, I understand trying to sit on it for the bishop.
What I'll do. I'm going to play. Oof, this is risky. I'm going to play Mantis
Yep.
and Solo.
That's why you got rid of Timmy, huh?
Yep.
I wonder how long that Solo was trapped in Cell's hand.
What's her face? Is she friendly?
If that Tim Bubak came down on turn 1 and trapped that Solo
automation?
until now,
Yeah.
No, she doesn't have any
Osh
affiliation.
100% got his
No,
value.
but she's friendly, right? She can strike back, correct?
Yeah, she has range. Yeah,
But she has what? She's 0-6 or
so she's a 4/2 with range, and she has shrink
oof
and 2 health.
Oof. But she can, like I said, she can strike back. So that's yeah.
Good point,
Yeah.
Stacks.
All right, so let's play it safe. Solo in the rogue.
Yep.
All right.
So Stacks in the chat pointed out that on the turn where the Forge sequence happened out of
Mantis
play,
in the rogue.
Osh had
Yep.
They take the hit.
knowledge of what his draw was going to be prior
And,
to inventing, which he shouldn't have had.
Rogue in the rogue.
But he
I'll
also
lose
committed
counter.
a card to the row
Okay.
And
prior to that happening, which shouldn't have happened. So there was a lot of out of sequence stuff that turn.
So she's at 4. Your attack is at
my attack
9.
should be at 8, 10. It should be at 10. No, 8, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm 9, 9.
9. Okay.
So 9/9 rogue.
And I am at 4 defense. I can't get away from that. Yeah, I take that.
Got to feel good about putting another wound on the
And this
opposing
punk is gonna
rogue if
be a
you're in Cell's
problem.
shoes here.
I did not see that coming. I
That
Man,
board
I
is
knew
starting to
she
get
was
away
gonna
from
be a
him now.
problem.
And as we saw in game 1, it is relevant. You put a bunch of resources into ramping, you try to get some things down, and then ultimately, if you can't close the deal, your opponent can turn that corner, and now you're left with no cards in hand and a 2020 Proteus attached rogue on the other side of the board.
My turn though.
yeah.
All right. Let's draw 2. 1, 2. Didn't help at all. Actually, that was probably the worst 2 cards I could have drawn. So.
Oh, match is still out here.
Oh,
Oh, my
yeah. Match is still here.
Oh,
Match is definitely still here.
Yeah, you didn't use that concealed firearm last turn,
Oh,
Sal.
and Forge.
match. Oh, gee. This is.
Um, Forge, I'm gonna draw another card because
This ain't a headache and a half.
actually, now that I think about
I
it,
think we have another little bit of out of sequence stroke of genius there from Forge, but
that might be a good look. I'm gonna invent.
I don't think that's terribly
All right.
impactful overall. But
Didn't
yes,
see that.
stroke of
Gotcha.
genius should trigger before anything else happens.
Did I drop anything?
That's start
No, I
of
don't
turn.
think so.
No, I didn't. Okay. So it's turn 5.
How many cards you got?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
So I'm gonna recruit Sinister,
Yep.
and then
That's a good start.
I'm gonna recruit Weapon on Rogue
Oh,
and give her
me
plus
a
5
break.
defense.
Give me a break.
Wow, what's going on?
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah,
What's going on? Oh,
Still
and she
did
has
think
range,
the-
right?
Tom was
Yes.
the receptionist.
Yeah,
there.
there you go.
I can't even
Alright,
think
so
what she was
plus
called.
5 defense and range. All right.
Wow.
That plus
Just glad
5
they didn't
defense
give
is
her
a
XP.
big deal.
I wish it did.
That'd be so messed up.
It would be.
I mean, there's
but I'd
only a
take it.
few turns
All
So what's your defense at now?
before this is
11?
gonna get out of
Yes.
reach. Like we kind of know what the top
All right.
end of
I'm going-
Cell's deck is.
The Rogue.
So that match
Wow.
attack goes into Rogue.
Wow.
So you should be at negative 5.
5 negatives. Oh my goodness. I'm
you're
a
at-
conceal firearm that dude.
Yeah, probably should have done that
Wait,
last
hold on.
turn, honestly.
So what's your attack? 3?
3. It's 4 because
All right,
conceal
you
firearm.
got it.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take it.
Get
And,
out of here.
I mean, there's a dangerous clock that Cell is on here where if Proteus comes down again,
Please?
4, 6, 7. This is turn 7. This is not.
I mean,
it's not what I want to see.
if you're on Oshuan's side of this board, you've got Mr. Sinister. You've got Forge creating additional card value. You've got this shrinking invention up front. And Bishop just itching to start stacking green counters. You put a Berserker on him from Mr. Sinister. He's going to get 3 counters that turn. I mean, it can't be ignored that one of these rogues is level 2 and the other one isn't. But overall board state, or level 3, sorry, and the other one isn't. But overall board state, I think I'd rather be in Oshuan's shoes than Cell's shoes right now.
I hate wasting resource points. That's the worst. All right. This is what it is. Iceman,
Okay. He's a 8.
he is 8-1.
Okay.
Your defense is 11, so I gotta go for the swing on this one.
And she's 3, so we 8.
Solo
I
I
swing
definitely think I
into.
said that Iceman
Nope,
was
can't
a
swing in the
6-1
road
earlier
because she has
game
range
one.
now.
That's right.
Oh, great. Okay, so let's see.
So there's no safe attack
You're at 11. You
for
said
Solo to try to
Yes,
just get a
11
free
defense.
counter
the
here,
defense.
unless Cell can
Okay.
clear up some of this
So I'll
front
go
row
to
garbage.
5, 8. That's 13. I gotta check it. I gotta chance it.
So
I'm
So
team attack.
got to commit the team attack
13.
into the level 2
So
rogue.
I am going
I think this is
to
absolutely
shock
the right call.
Iceman.
I mean, punished
All right.
for it, but I don't know what else you do if you're.
Rogue 1.
You're
Oh,
at 6.
that feels real bad.
Plus.
So that's 8.
You're at 11.
7, 6, 5. Because I went up.
Yeah.
Right. So she was at
So
3.
she's at.
Then she went
she's
up to
at-
5. My attack
so
was 13. So you brought it down to 10. So now it's at 11. Your defense is what?
My defense is
Your
11.
defense was 11. Right. So now
Yep.
I am 11.
So.
Yep. I'm gonna
Yep.
shock again.
Oh,
At least I got 2 shots out the hand.
Oh yeah.
All right.
that's big.
I
Who
will.
you taking down?
I'm gonna strike back Iceman.
I feel like you got to hit
All right.
Iceman here. Yeah. I think Osh made the right
Okay.
call on that one.
All right.
You leave the -1
It's on you.
counters on Rogue. That's
Two.
a problem for Cell to have to deal with those stupid
Oh,
things. I mean,
there
he's
we go.
pitching resources
There
from
we
hand
go.
just to pull the red counters off, which a power-up generating a green counter isn't the most value to the board. A power-up just pulling off a red counter is even less value. That feels terrible. And this is coming on the heels of previous plays where he's throwing locations from hand, having to commit face down cards into the row. Like, Cell does not have very much card advantage to be playing around with, and committing power ups in that way cannot feel good. So I think bouncing that attack, if you're on the other side of the board, as this army now gets built up, you got to be feeling pretty good. And keeping the weapon, huge, or the weapon, huge deal.
Yeah, ain't nothing. Yeah.
I'll send Nova at him.
Yeah, it looks like Nova's gonna clean that up there.
You get your counters for the bishop.
Yeah, Stacks, you're right.
You're correct, sir. Sorry.
He's getting a little bit overwhelmed.
Thank you very much for that.
No problem.
I mean, in game 2, he was able to control the board pretty well.
Yes, sir.
This game looks like it's starting to get away from him, though.
Wow.
That weapon seems super relevant. I mean,
so now, what is your rogue at?
Rogue is at 13.
13 defense. Okay. Goodness gracious.
Okay.
And you know the Proteus is coming.
2, 4, 6, 7. This is turn 8.
For you.
For me, right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. 6 space down.
I mean, you got to think Cell's going to throw Namor here.
I'll play Namor.
Which should be good enough to get the weapon off of Rogue, but then there's a lot of
I'll
other
put
stuff
Iceman
on that board
in the
to
back.
deal with.
Alright.
And man, give me that Rogue. See what we
gadget.
got.
Oh!
Of course.
I knew it.
Of course.
Crack.
I knew it.
I think that's the sound of the back breaking on this one. That's a big deal.
Let's see. That's okay. It's only one gadget.
I mean, do you commit the rest of the attacks just trying to get the automaton off the board here?
I will.
I guess maybe Rogue could clean up Frankie.
Iceman has a wound, right?
Nope.
Didn't I strike him back last turn?
Was that last turn?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. You struck him back last turn.
Yeah,
okay.
Iceman should have a wound there.
He does. Let's see how I want to do this. What is she? 5/5, 2 wounds.
Nova, yes, 5/5, 2 wounds.
All right, and Automaton, she got 2 wounds, 2 health too.
That is correct, 2 health.
Okay, all right. Let's see. Let's see. I'll flip the Utopia for Iceman's Ice Slide. Give him invade. Oh no, hold on. He has flight and invade. Oh wait a minute. Oh, I can't. I'm not attacking the back row character. Oh, well, no use in using Utopia. That's right.
Right.
Oh
okay.
my goodness.
I'll just swing at Frankie. Nova, Human Torch, whatever her name is.
Nova. Yep. So we both stun then.
Yep.
She has flight and range.
Yep.
That's not a trade you feel good about if you're Cell.
Yeah, I'll pass.
All right. So Mr. Sinister, draw.
Yep.
And then for Forge.
Oh, for
for
6
Namor.
negative, 7 what is it? 7? Yeah, 7.
7, yeah.
Good sequencing on the Stroke of Genius triggers here.
I'll invent with that.
/ Genius trigger.
And then I will draw 2. 2. Ah, that's funny. So I'll be on turn 7.
I mean, are there any bad plays for Osh at this point?
All set.
Obviously, you want to see more face-up locations because you want to get more counters on your bishop. You want to be able to use Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, okay.
But even if you have some kind of
I'll do
mass
match.
silence
Oh, great.
on all his characters and they all lose their keyword powers, this is still
2, 4, 6.
very
Actually,
strong
yeah,
board
okay.
position just
So then
based
I'll
on
recruit
stats.
Kane.
And of course,
Yep.
we can't ignore that he threw out match while I was saying all that, who has one of the most relevant keywords. You put more -1 counters on Namor, you put -1 counters on Rogue.
Stays there. This goes to my hand.
Yep.
But I'm going to recruit another Kane. Another Kane.
Okay.
So Kane onto Kane to
I'm just
get
gonna
2
keep
more
going.
basics into
Yep.
hand. This might be lights out for Cell here.
Wow.
This is a nasty
I only play
sequence
3
of
Baxter
events.
buildings. We're all in a row.
So hypothetically speaking, probably use Sinister on maybe Match, maybe Frankie. Either one of them would be decent to put Berserker on. I'd really like to see Berserker on Match. That'll get Match up to 5 attack. That means 5 -1 counters when they strike from the back row. Uh-oh. Hope we didn't lose a player here. If... Oh, no. Well, hopefully he'll just... Yeah. Oh. Oh, no. Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Is what happened to Ash?
Yeah, it looks like he's still in the call. All right, so it wouldn't be a fight night without a little bit of technical difficulty. So it looks like Oshuan froze up there, so we're trying to get him back into the call here so we can finish out this game. Given his overall board position, he's got to feel pretty good. Oh, man, I hope he's not like... So what's going to bail Cell out here? So he's definitely staring down a real nasty overall board presence. You're good, man. No worries. Oh, man. Apparently Ash's internet went out. So over the course of this evening, we've had a table flip. We had the internet go out. So we got the back-to-back cans.
Okay.
And said +2/+2.
Okay.
And then I chucked the blue from my hand for Mr. Sinister.
Mm-hmm.
And gave him what did I give him? I gave him Berserker.
Right.
So I put that here. So then that's how we got the other 2 counters. And this is to track Berserker.
Right.
And then
Match swung on who? Rogue.
Match is actually swinging on Namor for 6.
All right. So let's see.
Little surprised not to see the Berserker go onto Match.
Swinging
But
Namor
when
for
you
6.
have the machine play to give Match up to 6, maybe the Berserker doesn't seem as juicy.
Been 7, right?
11. No, it should be 8/8.
He's 8/8. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I wanted him. Okay.
Gotta feel like that makes Namor a pretty vulnerable
Then I
target
will
here.
have. She's at 8/8. I will have Bishop attack into Rogue. He is a 12-12. Oh, sorry. Nope.
Uh,
Take that back. 9. He is an 11. 11. He's 13-13.
right. Because he just got
13-13
right.
bishop.
Okay.
Right.
That's 3.
I mean, it doesn't get much better for the bishop battle fight night than to see a 13-13 bishop stacking wounds on the opposing main character. I like the flavor of that.
6, 7, 8.
I mean, given the stacks of
This
red,
space down in the resource row.
you could almost see Cell
7,
recruiting another Namor just to
8,
clear the counters
9.
off that one and have something to attack with this turn.
I'll go ahead and recruit Bishop.
Yep.
Recruit Solo. Recruit C thing.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. I will flip the lab. Take the negatives off of Namor.
All right, committing a
Yep.
lab to
Let's see.
giving
2,
Namor some
4,
air,
5, 6,
or
7, 8.
the opposite of some air.
All right. Cards in hand.
3.
3. Okay. All right. Let's see if Namor can smash through this time. I'm swinging in the road.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
All right.
Got it that time.
Oh, it gets through.
Finally.
I think that's a big deal. If Cell wasn't able to clear that weapon before Proteus came down,
What's your
that'd
resources?
be night-night.
I'm at 7 resources.
Oh, great.
Just in time.
So now let's go ahead and
And he's got
swing.
so much work to do to be able to get to that machine. See, this is the lock that Osh was able to get in game 1, where Proteus plus the machine on Rogue, and Cell simply couldn't put the attacks together that would be big enough to get through it.
And let's see here.
Solo gets a counter.
Yeah. Still calculating this stuff out.
Got to be feeling a little tense if you're on Cell's side of things now.
Rogue will go into. No, hold on. Let's think it through. Let me switch she thing into Nova.
Sure. Double stun.
Yeah,
7, 'cause of
Nova's going to be a 7/7 with the
7/7.
effect of the
Yep.
machine, so that does make
That's
her
fine.
big enough to clip
All right.
She-Thing back.
Yeah, because of the machine. And
I mean, how do you even triage this out? If you're in Cell's situation, I mean, what do you prioritize? Mr. Sinister? Match? Forge? You have to get 2 attacks to be able to deal with the automaton, so that's the totality of the attacks you have left on your board. That doesn't feel good. You know you're not going to get through to the machine this turn. Bishop's going to get even more out of hand. This is a bad place to be in, man.
$13 with the machine.
I mean,
All
I
right, Rogue got to
guess
swing into him.
send Rogue into
Right.
Sinister.
So you're at 10-10.
Or is he sending
No, wait a
Rogue into
minute.
Bishop?
I'm at 10-10. No, I get a counter. I'm at 11-11.
Oh, you're at 11-11. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I go down to 11-11.
Correct.
What's up, Theo?
I
see you in the
actually
chat.
can't do anything to stop it.
If you
Okay,
exist.
that works.
So do I keep?
Okay, so that does get
Yeah,
you
I
to
still
Berserker.
keep-
So that's
I keep
better than
Berserker.
Sinister.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then probably Cell sends his Bishop into match. Oh, he's not even going to attack with him? Oh, no, Bishop wouldn't be able to go into match because he can't fly over the automaton, and there's no point in attacking with Bishop. Okay, that makes sense.
Freddy's. I'll draw 2 extra
Yep.
for Sinister and.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely feels like the smart play
Okay.
there was using Rogue to knock those counters off Bishop. Like, you don't want to have multiple big fatties on the other side of the board. Well, the Rogue
Let's
Bishop
do
line to kind of clear the automaton, and you could have even maybe tried to
6.
Mm-hmm.
bait
I'll recruit Timbu
Osh out with it, where you attack with Bishop first, and then maybe she doesn't shrink, because if she shrinks, then Rogue's going to clean her up anyway, so at least you can get the trade if you don't do the shrink with her.
With 6 counters, and then Bishop. So Namor is a 15-15?
Wow. What do you even do here?
Yep.
All right.
I mean,
going to use the Baxter building.
Spend the Baxter building on Frankie
Nova,
so you can smack
she
Bishop.
+3/+3, and I'll have her strike Bishop.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What is she, 8/8?
She is a 8/8, correct.
Okay.
And then is anybody big enough to deal with Namor? So if Rogue attacks in, he'll get -2/-2. And so that'll put Rogue at 10.
I'm sorry, he's a
15.
15. Okay.
Namor is a 15-15. So even with God's Strength,
Probably have one of
13.
those.
Is there a team attack here?
All right, so I'll have
No,
match
match
attack
attack.
into him
Oh, I
for
guess.
6.
Oh, yeah. So match
Yep.
attacks in, shrinks him
And he
down
gets
to
a
an
counter.
11. Then with
Well, then
God's
he's
Strength,
attacking
he'll become a
for
9.
7.
Oh, he's
and
actually
Rogue will
attacking
be
for
big
7,
enough.
yeah.
That's going to
Yeah.
get through.
Wow.
What is his stats now?
8.
Oh, and with the solo, actually, it's another one, yeah. So solo puts a counter on match,
I'll
which means
have
match puts an additional red
Rogue
counter
attack into him.
on
It's a
Namor.
+1,
Alright.
And
+1.
Rogue is for sure going to clean her up.
Yep.
Clean him
All
up.
right, and then I will pass.
All right. Draw 2.
I mean,
Yep.
you always like having your Namor with no -1
Okay.
counters.
So let's see here. For cover.
But you got to be feeling
Cover.
a little bit dour given
Cover.
the number of targets on the other side of the board.
8, 9.
You can't let Frankie Ray just keep growing. You know, the Asterix Human Torch, if every time she uses her blue power, if you don't clean those counters off, then she gets to use it again and it gets to strike somebody even bigger out of combat. So that's no good. You got to get the counters off Rogue.
That's a new Frankie. That's a new Nova, correct?
Proteus coming down.
All right. All right, so let's do this.
There's just too much on the board, I think. On the bright side, Cell has prevented Oshuan from being able to build enough of a board that he still,
How many cards are in
Osh
your
still
hand?
has
I
to
can't see it.
have his
3.
rogue
3?
3
Okay.
cards.
in the front row. So as long as your opponent's still trying to fight with their rogue, you've still got a chance to like get the attacks, get through to it. So given the Ahab line from games 1 and 2, we got to assume that there's a Colossus coming out here. I mean, I guess we don't have to assume it, but it seems likely. Unfortunately, and this is one of the few drawbacks of the Hound pile, you throw that Colossus out and
Let's see.
he can't team attack with Rogue, which would feel real good right now. But he'll come down with the Sentinel affiliation, thus preventing that.
Let me think what I want to get out of this Hound pile.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we've seen more than one Ahab recruit in either game 1 or 2, and in both game 1 and 2, Cell grabbed Colossus. So that's the only card we know for sure that he has in his Hound pile. Does Colossus make the difference here? I mean, it's just another dude, and I mean, you kind of need a little bit more than just another dude at this juncture. You have to be able to chop through that automaton. You got to commit 2 attacks to getting through the robot because of shrink. And you kind of have to do that because the longer that back row festers, the more awesome stuff is going to keep building up back there. And eventually, you're just going to be outpaced. If you can't deal with that machine before Proteus comes down on Rogue, you're right back in the same position you were in game 1, where you simply didn't have any combination of recruits that could get you over Proteus plus machine on a God Strength Rogue. And unfortunately, it really feels like we're going down that same road. Well, unfortunately for Cell, it feels like we're going down that same road. If you're in Oshuan's shoes, I think he's like, I got this. He's got to be feeling pretty comfortable at this point.
Let's see, because I could definitely use an extra attacker right now.
Yeah, Cell's saying there, I really need an extra attacker here. Yeah, he does. He needs to be able to get more characters out per turn than he is, because he not only has to keep pace with what Osh is recruiting, he has to overwhelm the deficit that he's in as far as board strength.
More swing in the rogue.
Well, he goes down to 19, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still not enough. All right, she's at 5.
All right.
So 5 wounds there. I guess the machine doesn't matter on Rogue.
Let's
It's
have
only supporting characters.
because what is Frankie at now? 10-10?
She is at 10-10.
Oh, okay.
I think I said that wrong.
Let's have. I'll tell you what. Let's have Ahab swing at Automaton.
Now, do you let this go through because you're going to get
He's
a trade
a
off of it?
3-1.
I mean, there's a world where you just
I'll
let
shrink.
this sail.
All right.
No. All right.
And
Oh wait, no, I won't, because it doesn't matter. You can't strike me. I'm a 6'4".
you're not shrinking.
No, she's 6'4".
Oh, with the machine
So I would
bonus.
strike him
Let's
back.
rock.
Uh-huh.
You got to call shrink at the
Yeah, you're right.
right. So let's rock. I'll give you
Yep.
+1. All right.
I want to make sure you use it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, a little bit of a weird
and
sequencing
Colossus.
there, but
Swing on Nova.
able to get through the automaton with only one attack to clear it
Colossus
on it.
is how much? He's 12.
12,
Gotta feel
12.
pretty good about
Yeah,
that if you're in
take
Cell's shoes.
What is she? 10-10?
Yeah, she's 10-10.
All right.
Again, here's another triage target,
it's
getting
on
those
you.
counters off of Frankie so that
Alright,
she can't out of combat
I'm
smack
gonna draw
bigger
2 cards
dudes.
before Origin,
Yep.
Mr. Sinister. 1, 2, and then I'll draw my 2.
Yep.
1, 2.
Overall, feels like a pretty
Alright.
decent turn.
Namor.
Namor goes
with his
down, right?
Counters. Yeah, with his counters.
So, and how many cards in hand again?
1.
Okay. Baxter building. Alright. I will 6, 7, 9. No recruits, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'll go to main.
Mhm.
I'll use the Baxter building, and then
Yeah,
I'll
I
have her
think Oshuan
strike
Really
sheathing.
recruits here.
This goes up to 4.
Yeah, this is starting to feel like cleanup a little bit. There's just so much stuff out
Namor
there.
is he's -7, so he's 14, right?
Correct.
The turns that Cell had where
I
I
will
really
have
need to get to the machine.
Match attack into.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, I'll have match attack into him.
Was that 8?
2, 6, 8. Yeah.
All right.
jeez, another
So he
minus
should
8
be
on
at
Namor.
6, right?
Correct.
That's brutal.
And... Okay.
Got to be feeling like this one slipped away from you a little bit if you're sitting in Cell's shoes, I think.
Yep.
Okay. 8. I will have Bishop attack into Rogue.
Yep.
He's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
And then, Jesus Christ, 12.
It's funny how a completely blank card can seem like such a
Solo will
problem
attack
when the numbers on it are 12, 12.
Colossus and Solo Forge just to get some counters.
Yep. Makes sense.
And, well, okay. Well, let's just say this is a +1 because I ran out of pluses.
Okay.
He ran out of plus
And
one
then-
counters.
Oh, this goes up to 4 because it was a solo attack.
Right.
Oh, he actually gets +2 because he still kept Berserker.
Oh, he got his Berserker and Solo. Yeah.
Wow, okay. And then Rogue will attack Rogue, and she
Rogue
gets
is
another
done.
+1.
Rogue is already stunned. You mean Rogue into Colossus?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Rogue into Colossus. My apologies.
All right. So what is
he goes
he's going
he
down
goes
to
down
10.
to 10, 10,
She's going up
and
to 11.
11.
This
Yes.
is gonna get super confusing
Alright.
with
All right.
red counters
And
supposed to be
then
green counters.
I will pass, and let me see if I can find some more dice.
All right. I'm gonna draw 2.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I draw 2. Recover. Cover. Let's see. I'll play a Prison 42 in the resource row.
Yep.
Let's see here. I'll go ahead and finally get to recruit Bishop, I guess.
I mean, what's going to be the bailout card here for Sal? I mean, another Namor? That doesn't seem like it's going to be good enough. I mean, possibly he has some other...
I don't want to do this.
I mean, I guess Quicksilver in the Hound pile could stealth, get in the back row, smash some of those problematic characters.
How big is Frankie?
He is a 11-11.
11-11.
Really feels like we're reaching there, though.
He's an 11-11. Okay. And Rogue is 9-9 currently, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Tough call. Tough call.
How many more resources do you have right now?
At 10.
We're at 10. And you recruited Bishop, right?
Correct.
Okay, so 7 left.
So,
Well, I guess that means there's no Namor if he's down to 7 resources. Man, what could he possibly...
Tarzan.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 cards in hand.
I mean, I don't want to count somebody out
That
before the
one
game's
count
over.
on Rogue changes everything.
But it sure seems tough to come up with cards that Sal could potentially slap to the board here that are going to dig him out of this particular problem.
All right, I'll swing Colossus in the Rogue.
Oh
Okay.
man, 10 recruit
power
points,
him
and all he could do was play a
I'll
bishop
power
from his
up
side
Rogue.
pile.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel good.
Okay. It's 2 on Colossus. Rogue will go into Nova.
So, okay, so Nova goes down to 9-9, and you're at 10-10.
Man, one
Correct.
power up here.
Yeah, okay.
Mosh is gonna...
Got that.
Yeah, okay.
He
didn't have
Bishop
it,
into Automaton.
Shield. How many cards you got in your hand?
1.
Yeah, I'll shrink.
All right. She thing into Automaton.
And she's 6 defense, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
All right, so trade.
Yep.
All right.
That's a trade that doesn't feel good. But you got to get that out of the way. I mean, that automaton has been
My turn.
clogging up the
Yep.
melee combat lanes for
I'm gonna
Cell
draw 2.
since
Yep.
turn 3. I mean, almost the entirety of the
and then draw
game.
my 2
That
for a
card's been
turn.
in the way.
So I will
I mean, it seems like Osh is in a
set a vault.
like a bit of a rinse and repeat pattern here. Use match to shrink down
no
whatever the
recruits.
biggest thing is that Cell has on his side of the board, then use Rogue
I'll
to
go
put
to
wounds
main
on
phase.
whatever the thing is that
I'm
match
sorry, I'll
shrunk.
move Bishop to the front,
Okay.
and
Shrunk
then I
meaning
will go to main
Stacked red
phase.
counters and
Yep.
made the stats
I
smaller,
will use the vault
not the keyword
and
shrink.
give Bishop. Let's give him flight.
Mhm.
Oh man, Bishop has flight and berserker now.
So he has flight and berserker right now,
Mhm.
and then
And
I will
hold and miss the
have.
+1 counters.
You have 1 card in your hand. You said.
Yep.
I'll have match go into Rogue. That's 3, so he's
Yeah,
4,
so
5,
match is
7, 8, 9. He's actually 9, so I would stun her.
Oh, she stuns.
oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
match
That's
is
6 on
now
Rogue. Yep.
been allowed to grow
And
big
then
enough
I
between
will
the machine
have
and the solo
Bishop
counters.
attack into.
2-drop match is now able to stun level 3 God Strength rogue. That's unbelievable. Bishop clears up Bishop.
All right, draw 2.
Yes, sir.
Oh wow.
Cell's got 3 cards in
that's
hand. I don't know what he's gonna do to
Got
get out
another
of this.
prison 42.
All
I
right.
got solo and less rock. I got no way to
Oh
protect.
boy.
Oh,
All right, good stuff.
Yo, man, good game, man.
Yeah.
That was some good
Yeah.
heated back and forth right there, bro.
well,
Yeah, that's
congratulations to Oshuan there
Oh yeah.
on taking
definitely.
that
Oh, yeah.
series.
Yeah,
That was-
dude,
that was rough at
this
the
deck
end.
is so messed up. I didn't even realize how much I messed up. So you see this? All her team affiliations I put in a hound pile. So she was never going to be able to team attack unless it was going to be with Iceman.
So both bishops seemed like they were really able to do their thing, and
Correct. Yeah.
they both had impact on the game. Maybe game 2 they had the least impact overall, but both bishops throughout the series were able to come down and actually perform what their necessary thing was. Ultimately, it seemed like getting bigger off labs or lab-based powers ended up being the superior strategy to going for the ramp. It
Whoop whoop.
really, I think maybe sacrificing the early game to try to have that fatty at the ramp, you kind of ended up putting yourself on the back foot a little bit there through the mid-turn cell, I think.
Well, what wound up happening, she never had a way. So with this is what's going on in the deck. She never had a way to team attack because I figured he was going to have big people at the end. But because I put the same team affiliation in the hound pile, instead of doing it the opposite, maybe making Brotherhood or somebody else
Sure.
in the hound pile, she was never going to be able to team attack to get to where she needed to be. So on my end, I shouldn't have went the route of having Fantastic Four in the deck without Baxter buildings. I should have just went ahead and made sure that her team affiliation was going to help her out when she needed it.
Sure.
You know, so and that's unfortunate. So she was never going to be big enough in the late game to take anybody out, and I was relying too much on Namor and anything else in the deck to get the job done. The only person she could team attack with was Iceman, and then I of course forgot Iceman can't attack level 3 rogue with melee.
Right, because he
Mhm.
gets stunned immediately.
Right, and I have no. I talked about putting Omegas in the deck, but when I rushed to put the deck together, I didn't have any room for Omegas, so that was a problem too. Because what I should have done, thinking about it, considering how big Bishop probably was going to get, I should just play Jean Grey instead of Namor.
Oh yeah, and you could
I could have
just
just kept taking Bishop, you know. But that last game, I pulled 0 concealed weapons. But the first game, I pulled all 4. So,
took him.
That was a
Yeah.
very pivotal card for sure.
oh
Oh
yeah, yeah. I found that card at the last minute. That's what was taking me so long to get on the stream. So, but no, like I said, I just got a better built deck. It's just a better built deck. Like I could have had that first game, but I stalled out because I had what I needed to go to level 3, but then I never would have recruited Bishop.
Right.
You know, so I could have went to level 3 on like turn 2, but I was like, wait a minute, let me see what Bishop can do. But like I was telling Ash, mathematically, the odds are with you for a 2-drop more so than with a 3-drop.
Oh yeah.
So now my 3 is clashing with if I can recruit a 5-drop or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta choose between recruiting a 3-drop or a 5-drop, and I gotta recruit the 5. So that's one of the reasons why Bishop didn't get as much play in the last game.
And for me, it was pretty straightforward. I wanted to get as many cards in my hand as possible, and then I also wanted to make sure that I had ways to build Bishop. So
Right.
I went the route of Mr. Sinister on 5. So you guys didn't hear, but I gave Bishop Berserker 1st every time, so I wanted
Right.
him to get some counters. And then the second one, it was between either dodge, lethal, ferocious, or flight. So the last game, I put Bishop in the front since he was already pretty big, and then I gave him flight because I didn't want him to get to my guys in the back, Forge and Mr. Sinister, grabbing me cards.
Right.
And there was also a time where Forge had to team attack with Bishop,
Mm-hmm.
and since they're team attacking from the back row, it gave him an extra little oomph. And then also you giving Bishop +2/+2 out of the gate is great, but then giving him +2/+2 static, and then also give him extra +2s
Right.
with Nova, Mr. Sinister.
Yep.
You know, I didn't actually run a 7, but I wanted to run Ragnarok, but I couldn't fit Ragnarok and his location in here. So
Right.
I decided to go. I decided to just go ahead with the two um, Proteus to make sure that Rogue stayed on the field long enough for Bishop to just get too big for anybody.
Yeah. And then the gadget play was a good play, and weapon. I mean, you kept weapon on for what, 3 turns?
Oh yeah, weapon.
That
In
was
case
huge.
nobody saw, I chose defense for weapon when I put it on Rogue because I
Right.
wanted Rogue to just fade a couple of turns so
Right.
she can
Right.
get to the fight.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was smart. And then because weapon had range, then Solo couldn't just keep randomly swinging in, getting a little bit of counters here and there. So
That's right. That's
yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
that's one thing. If Rogue ever gets range or dodge, she becomes real dangerous.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
So, Osh, was there
But no,
anything
it was
So
good
about
game.
your
good
build
games,
that
man.
you felt like didn't work that you would do differently?
If I had to do something differently, I probably would take out Timbu Ba and use Timba to use like the 7 drops. I'd have some more
No,
defensive
Tim.
pumps.
Tim was a good play. Every time you played Tim, he hurt me every single time because I
He
had Solo in my hand, so that was going to
right.
be an XP for me.
Oh, you
Every
know
time
what?
you played.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying he hurt. Yeah, but what else were you going to do?
I would definitely take out Dagger, and I throw in some more support for Forge, maybe a Bamf or something like that, just to make sure he stays on the field longer. Because I was expecting you to play match,
I
so
was, but you kept playing Dagger, so I never
right.
grabbed Match. So I never grabbed him. Every time I played because Match is right here
Right.
in the So I had I had what's her face Ahab, but then you played Dagger twice. So it's like, okay, well, I'm not getting Match because I can't get to the back row to get rid of Dagger. So okay, fine. By the time I got rid of Dagger, it didn't matter. So I was like, okay. So a lot of stuff you were doing, you were already 2 steps ahead of me, whether you realized it or not. So Timbu Ba and Dagger crippled me every time you played them, every single time.
And they're going to be strong cards moving forward in every format that they're in, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Expecting like Iceman and some other stuff just to prevent me from getting some counters and stuff. And then with Dagger, I was expecting you to because when Bishop comes out, he's only a 2/2. You kind of expect him to be a 4/4 maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, there's got to be a way for me to protect him from getting negative counters. So let me get Dagger in there. So if he ever gets some, she'll just get bigger. So, man, but it was really good games, man. I really enjoyed it, man. It was had me thinking and sweating a couple of times.
Well, hey, I want to say thanks to both you guys for putting the decks together and putting on a show for everybody to watch this evening. Of course, I want to apologize again for screwing your name up at the top of the fight, man. I apologize.
It's all right, man.
I thought to myself, oh, I should ask how that's pronounced before we go live. And then I didn't. And I almost thought I'm just not going to say his name. But no, I rolled the dice and I was wrong. So I'm sorry, man. But thank you to both you guys for coming on the show. And here at the end, before we sign off, I'll start with Cell. Is there anything that you want to plug, promote, shout out here before we sign off? And then I want to give Osh a chance to do that as well.
Oh yeah, check us out on Anchor, Team Apex FTW. Check us out on Patreon.com/Team Apex FTW. If you want any information about things that we're doing, go ahead and shoot us a message at teamapexforthewin@gmail.com. You don't have to be a patron in order to get on our Google Calendar. So, like I said, we can go ahead and add you to the calendar. You can see what we're doing.
That's what's up, man.
I see in the chat here, C-Stacks mentioned that Osh has a very nice playmat.
Yes, I do. And I would like to say shout out to C-Stacks for this incredible art. I don't know if you guys saw it. I'll just move everything off.
Which cup is that for?
This is for the Quarantine Cup. Cup 3.
3? Oh, yeah.
I think it was 3. Was it 2 or 3? It was probably
I think
3.
it was 3v3, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was 3v3. It was actually my first time back for a couple of years because I stopped playing, and I got on the team with Hector and Patrick. We were
Yeah.
Let's Get Dangerous, and we made it to the finals against the big three. I won't say their names; it's not worth it. And but yeah, thank you very much. This mat is actually pretty lovely. I like it a lot. I had to go
Yeah.
down to Hector to grab it, and I am. In case y'all didn't know, I am on a couple of teams, but the only one that's really worth plugging right now would be Thunder Pals. We do a lot of streams for fighting games. We do Smash all the time. Uh, Shout out to Iman. Shout out to D. Those are the founders of the team. And I will be starting up your own little YouTube. It's going to be YouTube/YearTray. And we're going to be making fights just like this. We're going to have some competition. Hey, Bentley. My cat wants to come say hi. Come here. Come here. There you go. We're gonna have a couple of competitions, a couple of raffles. We're gonna do everything and just bring some more content to the community.
Great.
Cool.
Love versus,
Cool.
and
Nice.
thank you for letting us come up and do this, man. This has been a great time.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
it's a lot
sure.
of fun.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Ben.
All right, fellas. Well, with that, we are going to sign off for the evening. I'm going to go hang out with my kids, and